7 minutes. 7 minutes is all I can spare to play with you. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is Modern Escapism. Welcome to the show. My name is Oodles, and joining me today on this quaint early summer evening, it's half man, half snack, all delicious. It's Stig.
Oh, so delicious, so tasty, so yummy. Come get you some.
And the man that once stood in front of a tank with his shopping bag screaming, "You shall not pass!" It's Biggie.
Hello. And it didn't go, it had to go around me.
Gadget and Candy won't be joining us this evening because they're fucking sacked. Please submit your CVs to the contact form and a down payment of £3.99 for process and admin costs. There's jobs going, guys. They're sacked.
Yep. You know what the best thing about that is? This is now a football podcast.
Football lads.
Right, we're going to talk about the Euros. Here we go.
What we're doing first, we're talk about the Euros as predictions. Then we're going to talk about the top 10 hottest women on the planet.
Yep.
Then loads of politics at the end. And what else are we going to talk about? Anyway, none of that nonsense. We're nerds. What you guys been up to? You had a good week? How are you feeling the weather? Because I'm telling you what, it's killing me. Up and down.
Weather's fine.
Up and down.
Nah, this is perfect.
Do you like
nice
it moderate?
And warm. Yeah, it's nice and warm, but not too hot. So shorts weather.
Oh, I've got shorts on, don't worry. But it's the pressure on my head. Do you know when it drops sometimes? Ooh, I can't decompress quick enough. Kills me. So I'm a bit
I went to
snotty.
A friend of my mum's this evening. It was her birthday. She's bedridden, sadly. So I went to go and visit her and see how she was. Wish her happy birthday. And
happy birthday.
A crow got stuck in her chimney and came down through to where the fireplace is and was stuck behind the fireplace. So there we are, just sitting there having a natter, and then I had to pull the fireplace out and then evacuate said crow out the house.
Do you mean a bird or an angel of vengeance?
It feels like it was the angel of vengeance to begin with, but when I finally got it out of the house, it was a crow.
It's Eric Draven.
Yeah.
It must look really funny when we're doing it though.
I bet.
We had a bird in the house once, just right before we were about to go out as well. My bird. No, like we were literally about to go out. We're all dressed up, ready to go out.
Fucking bird turned up.
Open the back door to let the cat in, I think, and a bird flew through. No. And then it decided that it'd fly behind the kitchen unit, so I had to pull both the fridge and the freezer out to get to it. No. And I couldn't reach that far enough, so I was there with a broom trying to poke it to get it to fly out. It was just...
They're so dumb as fuck. You're like trying to grab a towel around it, pick it up.
Go out.
I had a scarier situation than a bird flying. When I was in like a kind of a posh year in Thailand, quite posh, not Wi-Fi and aircon and stuff. And I always thought, I'm like, what's that fucking? A bat had come in, and a bat would just be in a bat inside a big yurt, and it was frightening, massive fucking bat. Didn't bite me though. I've not died. I haven't got malaria. That was fine.
No, but you are a vampire now.
Yes, there's pros and cons to everything, isn't there? There's pros and cons.
You do sparkle in the sunlight.
I do, baby. I do. Speaking of sparkling in the sunlight, there's only one man that sparkles in my news light. It's time for Biggie's breaking news.
You may already know, but he doesn't, because it's time for Biggie's breaking news.
No strangers to views. You know the news, and so do I. So breaking news is what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm newsing. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give news up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and misread you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and not news you.
What does news someone mean? I'm going to news you. So
Come around here and I'll show you.
That's what he's going to do right now. News us.
I'm prepared to be newsed.
News me, baby.
Oh.
So yes, Sony had its little state of play this week, or the week just gone. Depending which day it is. Yeah, there's a few standouts and not so much. I'll just rattle through a few of them. I probably won't go through the lot. Just get your comments and thoughts. First one in the list is Concord. Apparently Sony's answer to Overwatch, but I just thought, meh.
Do you know what?
It started out with the trailer. And it was
really
like,
good, really good character development. Yeah.
I thought, is this going to be like a new third person story-driven game?
You mean what people actually want?
Yeah, we and then it just turned out that it was all just
because I like the character dynamics. I like who we saw. It seemed very MCU, but not too derivative. And then it just went in our 4-on-4 PvP. I was like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah,
it's just,
I was just like, as if
I'll be very
just
surprised, but it's just going to fall on its ass like all the others.
It won't last. It won't last 6 months. They never do.
No.
And then they said, we're going to treat you to a new FMV every week. a treat.
Great. Is it PlayStation exclusive or is it PC as well?
I think it's PlayStation and PC.
Yeah, because it did
that
say
might
Sony's
give it some legs.
answer,
I was thinking
PC gives it more legs, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We see. We might be proving it might be the new Destiny. We might be proven completely wrong.
Oh, here we go. We've got a nice, cool new story game.
Nope.
You know, Sony are great at it. We all know
you get a story
at
every week in an FMV. Stig, what more do you want?
But it launches in August if anyone cares.
What, sorry?
It launches in August if anyone cares. There's a beta test in July.
No, I don't. No. Next.
Dynasty Warriors Origins.
Now we're talking.
It could be the comeback that we have all been waiting for. Look pretty cool, doesn't it?
Lu Bu has entered the fight.
Oh, it looks so fucking nice.
Doesn't it? Pretty smooth from what we saw.
Yeah, man.
Omega Force know what they're doing. They've known what they've been doing for the past 20 years. They have released a few duds, but their hit to dud ratio is fantastic. So I'm definitely into. The last one I played was Samurai Warriors, which is the Japanese version of that. But I prefer the Dynasty Warriors. I'm more into it.
Yeah, I don't think they got. I don't think the PS4 generation really. We didn't get anything mind blowing in that. Did we?
They were just. I think they re-released because 9 came out, didn't it? And 9 wasn't very good. That was the open world one.
6 was the last
proper
great one. 8 was they just threw everything into it and it was all right. But 6 was
that's where it was at. I'm up for. I am up for it. It's about time. I need to get into it. Might even play it with Stig because we can multiplayer it and stuff. We might get into that shit.
I love them.
I do.
It's just chaotic. And
I think I played 1 and 2. That's about as much as I remember. Did you
play the Dragon Quest Muso game? Dragon Quest Warriors?
No.
Made by the same people and that. And it's really good because you like the Dragon Quest world kind of thing. It's not as good, but it's good. There's a little bit more RPG in that one. It's not as instantly, let's just fucking destroy an army with a big staff, which is what we love. And when Lu Bu turns up, when Lu Bu turns up, you're fucked.
It'll be young Lu Bu, won't it?
Yeah, because Origin.
I was genuinely like looking at the comments on that video, and everyone's just talking about Lu Bu.
Yeah,
everyone loves it. Fucker.
If you're listening to this and you don't know what Lu Bu is, Google it.
Oh, you'd be like clearing out a base, and you'd be like, "I'm just about to win," and all of a sudden it's like Lu Bu has entered the fight, and you're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And he'll just come and batter the shit out of you.
Which is funny because he's a real person from history, and he's a gaming baddie, like a badass. So fucking good. Can't wait. When's that out next year?
Just 2025.
Take your time. Let it cook. I don't want a rush job on that one. Any more?
Yeah, another. It feels like these are coming out the woodwork. Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm
interested in this though. They don't release that many.
Well, there's just the other one that's just come out.
Feels like they've released quite a few in the last few years.
Well, they did Rise, which was about 2.
I'm pretty sure we've talked
3
about
years ago.
4 different types.
Didn't they just release a remake or a port of one that was out?
Rise.
On something? Oh, there's another one, like a almost like a chibi version. I can't think what it was. It was
Oh,
too
Monster Hunter
recent.
Star is.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's not Monster Hunter. That's like Pokemon.
It's got the
in
name.
that universe. I know, but come on, we had World, Rise, and now we're ready for Wilds. We're ready for it. I think it's going to be mint. You get to ride around on these chocobo things, raptor chocobos. Looks good. Looks good. Stop complaining.
This one's for Oodles. Infinity Nikki, which is the open world anime dress up of your dreams.
I'm into it. If I can get a code of that, I'll review it. I'll definitely review that. It looks fun. Next.
God of War Ragnarok for the PC has been officially confirmed
Next.
for the 19th of September.
We knew that was coming.
That was
Ballad
surprising.
of Antara. Which is like
this Ballad of Antara looked like a weird Soulsy one, didn't it? More DMC.
But it's free to play, which surprised me, looking at the quality of what they put in the trailer. Which
Yeah, free to play as one character.
Yeah, suggests lots of paying for weapons and skins. And,
Yeah, our bosses that you just can't beat on one life, so you have to pay for more lives.
yeah. That.
Never mind.
Now, the one I am interested in is Astrobot.
Oh my god!
Didn't that
this looked
look
Big
amazing.
time.
awesome?
It looked amazing.
Nintendo have slept on a 3D Mario since
Yeah.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
I think the closest we've had to any kind of fun, bright 3D action game like that, platformer is
Sackboy.
the Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, the Rift Apart.
Apart.
Yeah,
Rift
yeah.
Apart. That's it. That's the closest
Which
they've
is
come
great.
since then. Yeah, but this looks like proper. Gives you that Mario
Do you know
vibe.
what? I said this.
I'll
I said
get
this in our
this.
Discord. I'm predicting. Hear me out. I think this is going to be Sony's first truly, like 95 Metacritic platformer. I think
Yeah,
it's going to be
I
so
think-
fucking high.
Based on, admittedly, I've not played the VR, but based on what I've heard about that,
Mate,
and based
every
on
Astrobot
the
game
freebie,
brilliant.
the freebie that
Incredible.
came with the PS5 blew me away.
Mm-mm.
They've been working literally on just that and making
Yeah.
a proper full-on game.
I think it's going to be a
My
95.
God, it's
you can
gonna be
hear,
good.
you can write this down, listeners. It's a 95 Metacritic. That is the one to put on
Yeah.
your gaming draft league next year.
Yeah.
Genuinely, the VR game's one of the best VR games I've ever
Yeah.
played.
Everyone
It's
says
so
it.
inventive and so fun, and it's a bit disappointing if I had a PSVR 2,
Mhm.
I'd be disappointed if this doesn't have some kind of VR integration with it because it
At least
works
an option.
so well.
At least an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, they did it with Resident Evil,
because I'm
didn't
not going to get a PSVR because I'm not stupid.
No.
they?
I'm happy that it's just going to be normal.
I just 10-hour little adventure romp, little fucking collectathon with the love and attention that Playroom got. 95 Metacritic. I can see it now. Nintendo must be quaking in their boots because that looked legit, and it's something else that Microsoft haven't got on their end either because they own Banjo Kazooie and stuff, and they're not doing it with it.
No, and Sony, I think it's
need
good
it.
that they've embraced him as a little mascot and they're
They
making
need
games.
it. Now
Yeah.
they've lost
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot to everyone else.
Yeah.
They've only
Yeah,
got Ratchet
agreed.
and Clank, haven't they? That's all they've got.
Mhm.
Yeah, because Sackboy just don't do it.
No.
No.
He's sacked.
He's sacked. But yeah, I'm telling you, 95 Metacritic, and I can't fucking wait. That's going to be day one. Especially, my kids will play shit out of it. They played a lot of Playroom. A lot. I'll play a lot
play
of
shit
it.
out of it. It's
I'll
fucking
platinum
great.
it. I'll just sit there and it's just going to be fun. Mate, I'll spend 70 quid if it's good. If it's at 95 Metacritic, I'll spend 70 quid on it. I don't give a fuck. I need that kind of game at the moment. It's one of those type of games that it don't matter what mood you're in, you're going to enjoy it. I love a platformer, mate. I fucking love them. Cool. Any more? There was the Silent Hill 2 one, wasn't it?
It's coming
Yeah,
up.
let's move on
So
from that.
easy. We're getting there. Until Dawn has had a lick of paint for a PS5 version.
I know.
Fine, if you've not played it before, then
I know
yeah,
the twist. I know the twist.
It's good if you haven't played it before.
Great game.
Great
It's
drinking
great,
game.
and it's worthwhile.
It's the
getting,
best
but,
one they've done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
agree.
just seems a bit of an odd thing to do.
It's the best Supermassive game, isn't it? By far.
I just feel like that anyone who wanted to play that's already played it.
Yeah.
Mate, they gave it away on PS Plus
How much
back in the PS4
how much
days.
replayability does it have, other than trying to maybe save a few different characters? It's not.
I saved them all by accident. I was
I didn't.
decent at it.
Still fuming about losing one literally like 2 minutes before the game
Yeah,
finishes.
I know which bit you mean as well. I know exactly which bit you mean.
Still pisses me off.
There's some
We
good
were doing
implementation.
shots every time someone died. It was great.
I would replay that if it's a £10 upgrade, or if they say we've got some really good extensive haptic feedback, like DualSense stuff on it. Because the other one used the DualShock 4 quite a lot, didn't it?
Yes, it really did.
Like,
Well,
like
hold the Quarry, I think, uses some haptic feedback stuff.
Yeah, but I didn't like the Quarry's story that much. I went through it. I got through it all, but
we're about 2 hours, I think, away from finishing it. Just been in and out, me and Kate. Like, we like to play these games together.
I needed more Rami Malek in it. There's a weird, creepy Mr. Robotness. He's weird in that game. I mean, he's weird in real life, isn't he?
Next up, Marvel Rivals. Yeah.
This is that one that you keep. It's like the Concord, isn't it? It's like Concord. It's out.
Yeah.
It's just
People
a
have been-
PvP, but with Marvel characters.
Yeah.
It's
Not
broken
interested.
to fuck if you play as Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
I
that's
did
right.
laugh.
Yeah.
I did laugh at that clip though.
It
Someone put a
was
portal
great, wasn't it?
in the entrance, and then the other side of the portal was over the edge of a cliff. So everyone just kept running out the entrance into the portal off the cliff.
I like that. I like that. It's good on him. Good thinking. Thinking like a real Sorcerer Supreme there.
Yeah, not like it. Unlike Doctor Strange in Infinity War.
There was one chance.
He had options.
Nope.
Next
sorry.
up was
Portal around the arm.
okay.
Done. Portal around the head. Done.
End of film. No one likes the film anymore.
No.
I know that, but like,
Come on.
Next up was Where Winds Meet. And that looked very sort of Sekiro, kind of Rise of Ronin, kind of.
They've literally said it's Sekiro near Dark Souls inspired,
Yeah.
and
They're good. But
a
just
few
another
of
one.
these come out though, like Wukong.
no, it's
That
not
one?
out yet.
Yeah, it's out in
Coming out.
August.
Is that not out yet? Because there's a
No.
few, isn't there? There's a few like that where they're all like, is it going to be as good as Sekiro though? Because Sekiro's
Yeah,
like
but
a fine oiled
Wukong
machine.
looks amazing, though.
I
Does,
put
doesn't it?
Wukong as my one of my picks in Fantasy League. So
That's right, yeah.
It does look good though, Wukong. I remember that trailer looked fucking special.
I
If
do
it plays
worry
anything like
about-
that. in-
I do worry about a lot of like kind of old samurai imperial like China, Japan style games coming out at the moment. It just feels
People-
like
it's
starting
the
to flood-
year of the
flood
sword again.
market. Yeah, it's the last couple of years feels like it's the flooding the market with the same type of game.
Yeah, I moaned about it over a year when we first started podcasting. It's like everything's guns, guns, guns. But even I love swords, but if it's all swords, it gets stale. It doesn't
we
matter.
went
You've
through
got to
it
have that balance.
Zombies, didn't we, at one period?
Zombies. We had space. The year of space. We keep having this. The year of the platformer. Come on, that's what I want.
Year of the
year of
boobs.
fun.
Don't have enough of
Year
boobs,
of
I think.
We
Yeah.
have loads of boobs. Have you played Stellar Blade?
Well, that's just one, isn't it? But no, I haven't yet.
No, there's 2 boobs on her. You don't know the anatomy of a woman, do you, mate?
Like,
Brilliant.
and the one that you mentioned, Silent Hill 2. Oh dear, this
Gadget's
gets worse
most
and worse, doesn't
anticipated
it?
game ever.
Oh Jesus,
It
I
looked
really
crap.
don't know what to make of that.
It looked crap.
I haven't got confidence in that at all. Needs more fog.
It's just lost all its artistic vision. It just looks crap. It looks
Hmm.
like a mod, a fan-made mod. It looks crap. It's got like
I've never played
over-the-shoulder
Silent Hill
Resident
2.
Evil 4 gameplay on it.
Yeah, and I know it's difficult to get. Basically, unless you've got a PS2, you can't play it, can you? Without
No.
Um,
Xbox, I think you can play it on Xbox. You can
thingy
play
in
the
it.
old version of it.
So I think I'm just gonna have to do that.
Yep.
Try and get it on my ally or something and sit and play it on that because
Yeah,
I was waiting for this. I thought, oh, if this gets the Resident Evil
No.
2 and 3 treatment, brilliant.
No.
And then everything that's come out since, it just doesn't. I mean, I've not even played the original, but it doesn't look good.
You know
to
it's
me.
heritage, though.
Yeah.
Mm.
The
Even
original
as someone
so
who doesn't
good.
know, it just doesn't look good.
Just play the version that you can get on Xbox. But there's a catch. There is a version where Gadget will know more of it. I'm not an expert on Silent Hill, but there's a version where they recast people, and I think they put Troy Baker in one of them, and that's not a good version. I'm sure people will let me know when this podcast drops.
I thought the HD collection on Xbox people said wasn't very good.
That might be that one. It might be that one.
Fucked around with something, and
it was the fog more than anything else. It was too clear.
Fog out, yeah.
Yeah. It might be that one. I know Troy Baker's in one of
them. The fog was down to limitations at the time, but it also helped create the atmosphere. You take that away, and you've lost half the game.
I started on my Steam Deck, and it was all fuzzy, and I was like, is this meant to be like that, or is it just because of I'm trying to emulate it? I was like, no, it's meant to be like that. And then I put a mod on to clear it up, and I went, yeah, but now it looks too fucking shiny.
Nothing's scary anymore.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to try it.
Yeah.
Somehow emulate it, I think.
You should definitely play 2 and 3. I love 2 and 3. I think they're brilliant games. And then you should...
Because I own it, so I can emulate it.
You should... Yeah, of course you can. and you should also play Forbidden Siren, which was a PlayStation exclusive back in the day. They were really good. Really
I should have played them back in the day. I just had that... I think when I was younger, I had that silly, I'm a Resident Evil.
I only play Resident Evil!
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is a Resident Evil rip-off when it clearly isn't.
What are you buying? No, not Silent Hill, apparently.
No, despite the fact that I played Parasite Eve, stop me playing that.
Great game.
Parasite Eve's really good. Cool.
Yeah, and then there was just some PSVR 2 titles, Behemoth and Alien Rogue Incursion.
See,
a couple of standouts.
If I had a better VR system for my PC, I'd get that. But at the moment, I'm still stuck on my old one. I'd like to upgrade that at some point, but I have other priorities. It doesn't involve dropping 400 quid on a VR headset.
Well, it's not a priority for Sony, is it?
Yeah. Maybe I can win a Comp City one day. Who knows?
Don't get into it, mate. It's a vicious spiral, that one.
Yeah, I know how Candy went the other day. She was like, oh, how much did it cost you in Comp City? She was like, oh, 20p a ticket. Someone was like, yeah, and the rest of all the failed.
The rest. Yeah, you fucking spent thousands, you lot, on that fucking thing. Thousands. All the poor patrons' money's just gone to you guys and your Comp City addiction. Next.
So yeah, back to PC gamers in countries without PSN. They've hit out at Sony for blocking the sale of single-player games like God of War, Ragnarok, and Until Dawn on Steam. It's rearing its ugly head again.
Why are they doing this? It's just purely so they can inflate numbers and make it look like people are playing it on the PlayStation Network. Like, you are literally limiting your sales and alienating part of your fan base. It's
dumb.
So stupid.
But according to this,
and PSN
is available.
As well.
PSN is available in just 69 countries, leaving out many.
Nice.
And the Baltics, including states that are part of the European Union, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, are also excluded.
Italy.
They're not real countries. Come on. Stop moaning.
Batter in the football there, lads.
Yeah, football lads. It's coming home. It's coming home.
Yeah, I think it's stupid. And
I think it's disgusting. I think it's poor.
It'll lead to all those places just pirating the games and stuff. So you are literally losing out on sales.
In this situation, fucking pirate it. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Next.
Microsoft will allow other companies apparently to make next-gen Xbox consoles, claims an insider.
It's weird, isn't it?
Let them means they're the only ones doing it.
The next-gen Xbox will allegedly not be a single console, but a Windows-based device that other manufacturers can make their own versions of.
Well, none of them make any money on the consoles, really, do they?
Doesn't this sound like they are bowing out of the actual physical console war?
Yeah,
sounds like that to me.
I think that was always the case.
Go
when
Sony.
Game Pass arrived.
No tribalism.
And when they started putting everything on PC, I think this was probably where, and they started putting Game Pass on TVs, didn't they? Like, you could the internet version of it. So yeah, why not? If you can create your own Xbox,
the problem with it, the only problem with
powerful as you can.
There has to be some kind of seal of quality on certain produced models. There has to be some kind of proof that Microsoft have gone, yep, this is a good one. Not just
I think
because look at all these Android boxes you can buy from China.
Yeah.
I need some kind of guarantee that this is like an affiliated one or like the Nintendo seal of quality type thing. If I've got that, I'll do it.
It's good. That's a good point, because I have bought cheap Android tablets for the girls before, because in my head it was like I'm not going to spend loads because they might break it.
Yeah.
They turned up. They were slow as fuck. One of them,
1 gig of RAM.
Screen just kept flickering like loads. No, they were meant to have good RAM as well.
They told you they had good RAM. If you look in the settings, it's not
so
there,
I sent them back, and I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to buy them a Samsung.
Yeah.
Can't afford. I'm not going to buy them an Apple because it's too expensive. So I
Don't be
bought
daft.
them a mid-range Samsung, and they're perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it needs to be that. It has to be
Some kind of seal.
Like you said, it has to be an approved process rather than just being anyone with a Raspberry Pi.
Or if they do have them ones, they need to make it aware that it's not an affiliated one.
Honestly, though, it feels pointless because
Just play it
why
on
not
your
just
PC.
just get a PC. If you're going down that route, get a PC.
Just get a PC. Fuck it.
I can't afford a PC right now, but when it comes to next gen consoles, probably would just get a PC.
That's what I'm doing. That's what my plan is. I'm scared. It's uncharted territory for me, but that's what I've kind of made up my mind that I'm going to go down the PC route.
The only
next
problem
time.
I would say is my PC I bought when the Series X and S and everything came out.
Mhm.
Now, if I tried to play Hellblade 2 on that, it would absolutely shit the bed.
Yeah.
Whereas the Xbox, it will last you the full generation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's caveats, isn't there?
swings and roundabouts. There's caveats. You've got there's ups and downs to just getting a console. Consoles are just ease of use, aren't they? They're just there. You just put the disc in, or you just download the game and it's done. You don't have to worry about fucking around with settings. And
Yeah, man.
upgrading pieces. But it probably
I get more utility out
to
of
get
a PC, though. I get utility.
Yeah,
out
my
of it as
PC,
well.
I use it not just for gaming, podding and everything and work.
Wanking.
You know. Yeah.
Lads, isn't it? It's Lads Podcast. Yeah. Next.
Sadly, another week, another closure. Avalanche Studios announced today they're closing the New York and Montreal locations, laying off 9% of their staff, which works out about 50 people.
I fucking love
If you don't remember who they are, they did the Just Cause
Hogwarts.
game series and Mad Max, amongst others.
And Hogwarts. Like I said, they did that with Portkey games. I love Avalanche games. I think they've always been really good at that double A space in gaming. Just getting them daft little niche titles out there. And I don't think you know this, guys, but I really like the Mad Max game. I've never spoken about it at all. That's all them. It's really good. And yeah, it's another sad one, isn't it? But it's Warner Brothers, isn't it?
They still
Who
have
own
studios
Avalanche.
in Stockholm, Malmo, and Liverpool.
Yeah, but that means fuck all, mate, nowadays.
yeah.
Yeah, they're meant to be doing a game with Microsoft called Contraband.
Yeah.
So
Sounds dodgy.
See what happens there. Does sound dodgy. Yeah, it's shit for fucking. It's the jobs I. Makes me fucking
yeah,
sad.
because all these people losing jobs in the gaming industry, it's not like there's a glut of other jobs for them to go into because everyone else is losing these jobs. It's
Yeah.
and what if they've just
shit.
what if they've done just that out of college or university? They're not going to then go get a job at QuickFit, are they? Do you know what I mean? They're not qualified for certain things.
The other thing as well is if you're a young person who's into gaming and into coding,
what's going to make you want to do
design,
Yeah.
You look at the industry now, like, and you're coming to that age where it's like, right, okay, now I need to make a career move. You're going to look at the gaming industry, and you might have always wanted to be in it, and now you look at it and go, fuck that.
Yeah, I agree, mate.
So where are you going to get that next kind of breed of gaming
not.
developers and designers? You're not, because
You literally, the only thing you can do is move to Japan.
Mm.
And first you've got to speak the language. So you've got to learn Japanese, move to Japan, which is quite difficult, and hope that they're not going to shut down. Because they're
Or a mobile
The-
company, because they're all disposable, aren't they? The mobile
but Japan
games.
is still the most stable gaming industry on the planet. But even that's
they
not
still
infallible.
have their issues in, the way that they work. Their work
12-hour
ethic is
days.
very different.
Yeah.
It's not great for women, especially
it's
foreign
not.
women.
No, it's not. Especially not now. So it's weird. It's a weird one. It's like we've been saying it for a while, and it feels like the biggest video game crash is due.
It pisses me off though because there's so many great games and they're earning a shitload of money, and yet the people making them are being treated by
it's going into the wrong pots, isn't it?
Yeah, we all know where it's going.
Yeah, dear. Put the cigars down. Come on. Next.
But if they want to buy cigars, they can, because Embracer Group is now considering raising game prices above $70. The CEO of Embracer, Lars Wingfors, reveals that some games could cost even more. He suggests that titles with more content might have a bigger price tag. He spoke about this with Games Industry Biz, stating, "I'm not saying you can't increase the price. If you create an enormous RPG, for example, with 100, 150 hours of gameplay, very polished and unique, would the consumer be willing to pay more?"
You mean like Baldur's Gate 3 that I bought for 50 quid? Like that?
Yeah.
That lasted me fucking 250 hours. I think it's bollocks. I think it's greed.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. Surely games cost less if they're just digital as well.
Fucking Embracer
Distribute.
Group.
I know. Thinking, I can't wait for the next Embracer Group game coming out. What was that fucking Tomb Raider and Friends that they were on about the other week? That little thing they had going on. Fucking what's Embracer Group's big studio? What's their number one?
I don't know, because they got rid of them all. They closed them all down.
Who the fuck's waiting for the next? Who's on the Embracer Group fucking subreddit now going, yes, 500 days to go and this game's coming out?
There's Middle Earth Enterprises out in there,
and Friends.
They kind of consolidated it down, didn't they, and everything. So
Gollum 2's coming out soon, lad. Let's go. Fuck off. No one cares. We're only going to have AAA studios left, aren't we? That's the only thing that's going to survive.
I was think the only thing that's going to survive seems to be indies.
Yeah, but I'm cool with that, though. I'm cool with that. Be like the old Commodore 64 days where you just get these random bootleggers on fucking car boot.
Yeah, AAA studios.
They're probably worse off, aren't they?
Yeah, because it's taken them to 5-6 years to develop something.
Yeah,
and then when they do bring something out, everyone just moans about, it's just DLC. It just looks like DLC. You've hardly expanded. Look at the way people talk about Ragnarok or Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, idiots.
I think they're great games, but some people go, no, they just look the same as the previous ones. Like, right, do you want something quick, or do you want them to spend 6 years developing a new game, God of War game? What do you want?
Yeah, when was Silksong
announced? You have to meet somewhere in the middle. If you want a game sooner, you can't demand it to look fucking 10 times better than the previous game.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. I mean, that's why a lot of studios are now resorting to these quick remasters and remakes, because the groundwork's there, the storyboarding's all done, the characters developments are all there. So, like Capcom lived on it for the last 4 years. They've been living off remaking and nostalgia. But
they still do. They're going to be remaking Zero and...
It's kept them afloat, though, hasn't it? It's the smart way to do it. They don't have to sit there for 2 years planning a game because they already know what the game is. Because that's a big part of it. Storyboarding's massive.
Differences are actually putting the effort into making them good.
There is that. Yeah, that's true. Never mind. I won't be paying more than 70 quid for an Embracer Group game. I can promise you that much. Next.
Oodles dropped this one in our news feed. League of Legends fans outraged over $500 Faker skin bundle. Faker Sang-hyuk is easily the greatest League of Legends player of all time, allegedly, and is about to be recognised as the first inductee into the new Hall of Legends, which is effectively the Hall of Fame for League of Legends. However, to coincide with this induction, a new bundle of skins is being released, and fans are not impressed with the massive $500 price tag.
Do you know what's funny about this? If I've got this right, I saw a TikTok from this girl who does gaming news, and she said the irony of this is that the guy who they're inducting into the Hall of Fame famously doesn't use skins.
Oh. So what's his skin gonna be then? Just the default?
So they're commemorating his Hall of Fame with a $500.
A man that's never paid a penny for this game.
Doesn't use skins. Yeah, I think I've got that right. It might be him or one of the other real top players of the.
What's it called again? Faker.
Yeah.
Faker. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, she said he doesn't use skins.
That's funny.
And yet they're releasing this.
He's
So
sat there in
apparently
his mansion going.
So apparently for $40, you get the basic version of the skin, along with some other bits and bobs. For then the $300, you can get the mid-tier of the skin that adds some visual and audio effects to the skin to make it look even better. And then the highest price with the top level of the skin is about $500. This gives you the top version of the skin with some extra effects and animations. All 100 levels of the event
skin
pass unlocked.
Funny thing is, I bet people...
I'm still playing default on Fortnite.
Yeah, I am, mate. And I play it with my son because I like to run around his buildings that he's made. I'm still Johnny Fortnite, whatever he's called.
Yeah, I'm just the default girl
guy.
or boy with the cargo pants on and
Me
and
too.
vest.
He's running around as fucking Django Fett.
Yeah, this is ridiculous, an absolute piss take. So fuck that. Ridiculous.
I think it's hilarious because people are going to buy it. People are idiots. And that game's shite. I've played that game for this podcast. I played 2 matches and I deleted it.
I wish I was good at something like that though, because I could earn money from just playing games. And
Maybe
not
you
have
should
to worry
be
about a real job.
Enter a Tekken tournament.
I'm not fucking good at Tekken.
You just like the story, don't you? Tekken Law tournament.
Yeah.
We just talk about the family.
I like the story. I play the story at all the arcade modes, and then I sack it off. I don't go online.
Oh, the only fighting game I can truly say I was legit like fucking ready for it was Virtua Fighter 5, but no one's probably playing that anymore.
No,
fuck me, I was good on
someone will be somewhere.
Yeah, someone will be.
Oh, so what a film and TV. The Rings of Power Season 2 has given its first look as it reveals Rory Kinnear is Tom Bombadil. The character was apparently cut from both adaptations of The Lord of the Rings simply because the character doesn't apparently move the plot forward. He's an enigma in the set in the Lord of the Rings universe, doesn't concern himself with the wars of men. He lives with his wife Goldberry in the forest, and when faced with the One Ring, literally nothing happens. He goes about his day singing and being merry.
Yeah,
And he's been around thousands of years, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's he's older than the time immemorial and stuff like that.
Yep.
He's a parallel. He's Tolkien. Tolkien inserted himself into that book, so he's the one.
And yeah, the online trolls who don't like the Rings of Power kicking off about it. Why is he there? Why is he there when he's in Lord of the Rings? Yeah,
I can tell you why. Because they're adapting the series for Amazon Prime, and they were able to incorporate him into the narrative with an original plot.
Yeah,
but
it can be anywhere.
What I'm getting at is I'm
not supposed to
really
be there
bored
yet.
of the discourse because people only know the fucking Peter Jackson films.
Yeah.
I don't know the whole Lord of the Rings. Oodles has filled me in with a lot of it. I've
Many
read a few
times.
back things, but I know the basics of things that, like, there's a reason that person's there, the reason that person. Yes, they have fucked around with the timeline in this show.
A little bit.
But
Not egregiously, though.
he can be there. And it's the whole
yeah.
thing about, like, obviously Sauron is now in his elf form.
Yeah.
And there's people going, "Ooh, why is he look like that? Like, why is he not in, like, big black armor and, like, looking..."
Because he's the great deceiver.
Because, yeah, I was like, because he's meant to look like that. He's tricking people and being a character.
Why would you put a ring on that
quote-unquote.
Sauron gave you when he looked like that?
Yeah, it's like...
I'm having that.
That's the story.
He seduced them. He did seduce them to wear the rings. A nice, sexy-looking elf was like, "I've made you this, love. Do you want to put it on?" "Yeah, I'd love to." "You are enslaved now." That's what happens. You're not going to go dressed up as a 10-foot, armor-clad, like, fucking mace-wielding monster, right? And go, "Wear me ring." You're just going to go, "No." Fuck it. The daft. People need to read more. That's what they need to do.
People think they know the lore stuff because they've seen a set of films and they've read a few Wikipedia pages.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know the whole lore, but I know snippets and I understand why something's being done in a certain way. It's the same with Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
I'm not into the comics as much as you two. I don't know a lot of the
enough.
backstory, but I know enough. I've got Marvel encyclopedias. I've got, like, I read up on a lot of characters and stuff like that. And it's the same thing as when there's a female character of someone, and they go, "Oh, I don't want that one." And no, that she actually is that character.
Yeah.
She exists. That character exists, and she is a Silver Surfer. As an example, like you will probably get that version that you're asking for, but that character does exist. Stop crying.
My
and
favorite
taking
was
your
when
knowledge off a 2004 film.
Yeah, my favorite was when they first introduced Mighty Thor into MCU, and they're like, "Is it She-Thor? She-Thor's coming. It's not She-Thor. She's the Mighty Thor." That's what she is.
Oh,
That's what she
female
is.
Thor.
Yes.
It's like yes,
Yeah, she's
there
done
is.
that. Wait, well, they meet Beta Ray Bill. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
why is there a goat
What's
Thor?
that?
Why is there a goat Thor?
Again, back to Ring of Power, man. The fact that one of the most prominent people in Middle-earth history, Celebrimbor, is in the first season of Rings of Power means, oh yeah, they're going to create the One Ring eventually in this show.
Well, spoiler alert, they were making rings towards the end of the last one, weren't they?
Yeah, and Celebrimbor and Sauron make the One Ring. But Celebrimbor gets tricked. I'm spoiling something here, but that's what happens. It's if they do that tiniest little bit of research, they'll know. God, I'm a nerd. I don't know if I've had sex me sometimes.
I get some people's qualms for the show, and I can understand it, but it's there's a subsection of the internet where there's a reason why they're complaining. Why is Galadriel this girl boss, and why is she fighting, and why she do that? She's not like that in the films. Maybe because
1,000 years later,
5,000, 10,000 years before, she might have been a different kind of person. People change over
happens, doesn't it?
time.
It
Yeah,
happens.
it's like
I'm not the same
it's called
person I
character
was
development.
yesterday.
Yeah, it's called character development. People change over time. Events
mind.
make people change.
I will be watching it and enjoying it.
Yes, me too.
Next.
So, Glenn Close has been cast in Knives Out 3. She joins an already rapidly expanding cast.
They asked me this week if I'd go in it.
Daniel Craig, Andrew Scott, Josh O'Connor, Kaylee Spaney, and Kerry Washington, to name a few.
I'm going in
It's
it.
getting absolutely stacked. Typical Knives Out.
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner's been cast.
Yeah.
He must be playing himself.
Yeah.
Because in the second one, there's Jeremy Renner hot sauce, isn't there?
Yes, there is, yes.
So he must be playing himself in this film.
I just when the cast put a lot of great stars into these ensemble films, I just always look forward to the scene when they're all in one room chatting to each other, acting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love that shit.
The scene in Glass Onion after he kind of ruins the whole dinner party thing, like when they're all talking around that and and he's figuring it all out. It's great.
Yeah, and the scene in the first one when Blank gets everyone in the first room, like the Cluedo bit. You know what I mean? It's fucking.
So it's called "Wake Me Up, Dead Man."
That's it.
A Knives Out mystery. This is a U2 song. Glass Onion is a Beatles song.
Yep.
And Knives Out is I can't remember who's. But that's a band song as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this has some Irish actors in it. It's by the name of a U2 song. So there was speculation that it might be set in Ireland.
The fourth one's going to be called Bat Out of Hell. And it's going to be a meatloaf one.
It's also here. It says it's got Josh Brolin, Mila Kunis as well.
I'm not complaining.
This is Jeremy Renner's first part as well since his accident.
Mm-hmm.
So nice to see him.
Yeah. Next.
As rumoured before, Mike Flanagan is now officially set to direct the new Exorcist movie for Blumhouse, described as a radical new take for the franchise.
Yeah, hopefully more talking. I love his dialogue and his shit.
Yeah, because that last Exorcist film, apparently it was absolute dog shit. I'm not even going to bother watching it. It's by the same guy who did the recent Halloween films, and you know my thoughts on them. And Mike Flanagan has pedigree with this kind of with horror and changing the game a little bit, and that's
character building.
That's what an Exorcist film needs. It needs more than just priest turns up, throws some holy water at a child who tells him to fuck off
and shoves that crucifix in places it shouldn't be shoved.
But that was his problem with that Russell Crowe one, The Pope's Exorcist. It's like it's everything you've seen before. It's like what's this doing? What
you do know,
is
Stig,
this
the
doing
power
that's new?
of Christ compels you.
It does indeed. The best thing about that film was him bombing around on a scooter in his big leather jacket.
Which I'm sure will make a return.
Yeah. So yeah, I have faith in Mike Flanagan to
I do
something a bit different.
Let's hope so.
Me too. Let's go. Bring it on. Next.
John Romero's memoir, Doom Guy, is getting not one, but 2 screen adaptations. His autobiography, Doom Guy, Life in First Person, has been adapted for the screen. As reported by Deadline, the story of the id Software co-founder is being made into a documentary by Canadian filmmaker Rob McCallum. Meanwhile, a dramatised adaptation of Doom creator's book is also in the pipeline. Both of these projects are going to be executively produced by Naomi Harvey of Golden Possum Productions. It covers his video game career as well as his childhood and family life. This includes recounts of his alcoholic father, racist grandfather who didn't approve of his parents' mixed-race coupling, and grandmother who ran a brothel in Mexico. Wow.
The titty twister.
Wow.
Okay.
I would love it if this incorporates Doom in not in a way that it cuts, not that it cuts to the game, because that'd be shit. Do you remember when they did that in House of the Dead?
In Doom. They did it in Doom as well.
In House of the Dead, they go cut into clips of the game.
Oh,
It's
the
terrible.
UV Bowl one, yeah.
Yeah.
Every time like he would transition, it was cuts of the actual arcade game.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
it was awful. But I'd like it if it kind of went a bit wild with wild stuff is happening to him in his real world, and he's imagining it in almost a Doom-esque style. The music playing in the background, the noises, and it incorporates and kind of gives. This is the inspiration. This shit that happened to him in real life is the inspiration for this game, and I just want a bit different. I think that'd be.
It won't be
cool.
though, will it? It'll just be a straightforward biopic.
Let's get it out there though. I'll get that idea floating. I'll send it to Hollywood.
Next.
Apart from the Avalanche news, a Just Cause movie is in the works. Sorry, what an awful segue that was. Angel Manuel Soto will direct, with David Leitch set to produce.
I mean, I see the problem, and we've seen
Who
it
cares?
with Tomb Raider as well. No, Just Cause is based on action films, Robert Rodriguez films, and stuff like that. Tomb Raider was based on like Indiana Jones, and then the film came out of Tomb Raider, and it wasn't that good. It's going to be the same with Just Cause.
Yeah,
it's like it's a film based on a game that's based on films. When has that ever been good? I can't think of a single. No, I can't. I can't think of one that's ever been successful. So
I also think slow down on the video game adaptations.
yeah,
It feels like it's
Running out of
everything now.
ideas.
It's just getting made into something.
When do you think the phrase "I'm getting video game film fatigue" now? Not like everyone with MCU. I'm getting fatigued.
About 5 years when you see a lot more and more reboots of stuff like Tomb Raider films and more Uncharted films and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? It's a weird one. Just Cause is a weird one to adapt. To be fair, I never realised it was popular enough.
No, I'm waiting for like another go at Hitman. That was
Has that Borderlands come out yet?
No, it's out in August, I think.
Yeah, there's that. Well, I could see us getting another Max Payne at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder.
A real adaptation and do fucking Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I do wonder if Borderlands will surprise people, because I know the trailer.
I don't think it will.
A bit hit and miss,
I think it'll be shit.
I just wonder if it just might be something a bit different out there when it comes out.
Nah,
bit of fun.
No, you just like the universe, and you're trying to.
No. Don't get me wrong. I do like the games, but I'm just wondering if, because everyone's expecting it to be shit, and I'm just wondering if it might surprise everyone.
What Kevin Hart's last good film?
the one Central Intelligence with.
Central Intelligence is good. Jumanji 2.
The Jumanji good. Jumanji film's good. Yeah.
Not
no, Biggie. I try to see the best in films before, but I can before I see them.
Cinema guy's talking, Biggie. He's trying to tell you, don't bother, don't waste your money.
I'm listening to him. I can hear his words.
Yeah, he's telling you not to waste. I don't think
it's going to be any good. I just worry about we're going to get fatigue. What more can we do? We've got yeah, if they come out on the good, great. BioShock, if it turns out to be good, great. God of War, great. We've got Street Fighter coming. That was announced this week as well, yeah.
What? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
There's only one good Street Fighter film, and it's a cartoon.
Yeah, from 1994. Even the follow-ups to that was shit.
Yep.
Yeah, they were bad.
Pissed me off that because they left you with a cliffhanger, and then they did 3 prequels instead.
Did you not love the Tekken film, Stig?
Which one? The animated one or the
animated one?
No, that was pretty bad. And then
the live action ones are bad.
The 2 live action ones are terrible.
Yeah.
Bloodlines, the Netflix animation, that was all right.
Yeah,
but
it was all right.
It was just telling the story that we already know. Or again, it's like the 3rd time of retelling the same story from the games.
Yeah.
Like, the games do better. I don't need Tekken adaptations when I've got the games.
That's it, baby. That's it. Next.
Anatomy of a Fall star Sandra Hüller, I think her name is, to co-star opposite Ryan Gosling in Project Hail Mary, an adaptation of Amazon MGM Studios' Amy Pascal and Lord and Miller. Project Hail Mary will be filmed for IMAX and released wide in theatres on March the 20th, 2026.
I'm sure I knew about this.
He did, because Gadget's reviewed it.
The actual story, right? Okay.
Gadget reviewed the book, really loved it. Candy then listened to the audiobook, really loved it. Then we got the news that it was going to be made into a film. So
we've got the date.
I listened to the book. It's really good.
Oh, she worth it?
Is, yeah, it's great. She's phenomenal at casting. She's clearly going to play Eva Strat because there is no other option. She's like the scientist on Earth who basically gets everything done and ready.
Ground control.
Everything ready for this mission. Like no bullshit, no nonsense kind of woman. And Sandra Hüller is just perfect. I literally can, after watching Anatomy of a Fall, seeing her acting ability.
You can feel it.
Perfect casting.
Cool.
It's great. The audiobook of it's fantastic. And they do something with the audiobook that you couldn't do by reading it. So it's definitely worth listening to the audio version.
Okay, I might. Cool. Into it. Next.
Bill Skarsgård is definitely returning as Pennywise in the It prequel series Welcome to Derry, releasing in 2025.
Doesn't it come every 33 years?
They're doing a TV show about Derry.
So it'll be about that coal mining disaster and stuff, won't it? That the talk about in It originally. That's a cool idea. Because Pennywise comes every. I think it's 33 years, something like that.
I'm a bit lukewarm for this, but who knows?
Is it 33?
It's something like that. I have read the book, but
I know what you mean. There's definitely some weird timeline.
27.
27.
Yeah,
every 27
there's
years.
that. If you remember, like the original Tim Curry one, they find that book, don't they? And they see the pictures from him. And
they talk about it in the actual novel that it came beforehand.
And it's flicking through, and then you see Tim Curry, like he's just cartwheeling in this picture, and he gets all the way up to the front of the picture. It's fucking
what a balloon!
Yeah, it's horrendous. It scares the shit out of me. But yeah, it would have been weird to do a film set in Derry and not have Pennywise because originally he wasn't going to be back. So they've obviously presented him with something that
makes sense.
Him to come back.
I mean, let's be real. In the Stephen King universe, Derry's in quite a few of his novels, isn't it?
They all mixed together, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily need Pennywise, but he's the crux of it, isn't he?
He's the draw, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the
How
draw.
do you get people to watch this new show? Pennywise is back.
Yeah. Ooh,
that first one was really good, and the second part is really fell off.
Yeah.
But then again, it does in the TV series.
It does in the book, mate.
Yeah.
But the bits with the kids is the best bit.
The bit with the kids is so much better, yeah.
That's
scary as well, because kids in peril is scarier.
There's some unnecessary
adults.
bits in the book, some rude bits.
They got around that with kissing in the film.
Yeah, they weren't kissing in the book. Gross. Next.
You talk about perfect casting. Tomb Raider the anime will release on October the 10th on Netflix, and they have put Hayley Atwell as Lara Croft, which I think is a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, but I can't see her, so I'm annoyed. I like
Yeah, you just hear her voice.
But yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think she'd be great.
I prefer
Yeah, she's
looking
got
at her
the
than
voice
listening
for
to
it,
her. Oh, she's an handsome woman. Very handsome. And talented. But I'm into it. Next.
I haven't seen this, but I think one or two of you thought it was good. Arcane returns in November.
Oh, you should watch it.
I watched the first 2 episodes and everyone.
More on something about
It's
that later.
incredible. The best thing that Netflix have put out animation-wise.
Oh, wait till later.
No, it is genuinely incredible.
Wait till later.
Well, watch this, and I'll watch your show that you're going to tell me about later, and then we'll compare. Because episode 3 as well, Oodles, is where the story absolutely, like, something happens in that, and that's where it just goes bam and gets you and takes off. I would recommend just watching this before the next series starts.
I can't skip the opening credits quick enough, innit, though?
Yeah, don't worry about the opening credits. Don't worry about the music. That like sometimes the music actually works well. But there's an episode 3 is incredible. There's a section on the bridge that's incredible. The animation, the acting, it's one of the best animated shows I've ever seen.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. If there's a season 2, I probably will get to this then.
I'll be rewatching it.
Okay, cool. Next.
We had a first look, though I can't be asked. Venom: The Last Dance had its trailer
Next.
released.
Actually, I want to talk about it because it doesn't make any sense.
Let's go.
Right. So, spoilers for Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
That ends with Eddie Brock sat at a bar with Danny Rojas, and they are
Actual Danny Rojas.
yeah, and he's talking about like stuff, and then he disappears, and it leaves the bit of the symbiote behind. Now, in this trailer, what you see is Eddie Brock in that same get-up at the same bar, walking away from the bar, and then a Baron Mordo turns up and captures the symbiote.
I don't think it's Baron Mordo. I think it's him. I think it's just
not
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
It is, but is it him or isn't it him? That's what
Don't
I'm trying to
know.
get at. Because his name on IMDb is kept secret. He doesn't have a name on IMDb.
That means it is him then.
So it's not him in the MCU universe. So does Eddie Brock go back to his timeline, to the same hotel, to the same
Danny Rojas.
Danny Rojas, then leave the bar for him to turn up?
I've got sneaking suspicion, Stig. You're not going to get your answers out of this film.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I think that surely that has to be Mordo in that in a different universe.
Yeah, just a non-wizard version.
Yeah, he's a soldier, not a wizard. And and that's the reason why we don't know what the name of his character is.
He's even got the same accent in the trailer.
That has to be. Surely that has to be him going back to the same hotel. He's just travelled from one point to another, but he's in the same place.
Space in time.
Yeah,
different.
And it's got Stephen Graham in it. It looks like more symbiotes are coming from.
Stephen Graham was in the last one, weren't he?
Yeah, was he? I can't remember.
Yeah, as a copper.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, and then there's more Eddie Brock and Venom Vance.
Oh God.
They're the best thing that Sony have done with their Spunk universe, but
can't believe they it's
the acronym is Spunk.
I know.
Well, it is now. They changed it after they realised what it sounded like, but everyone still calls it Spunk.
Spunk.
Yeah,
people
so
go to see it though. People, it makes money. Venom.
It's Tom Hardy, isn't it?
Yeah, your boyfriend. Yeah.
Kate and her friend went to see the first one purely because it was Tom Hardy.
Fucking hell.
I might go see it because if I can get it for free.
Cinema guy strikes again.
Yeah, but I'm so confused by this trailer and how it links to the MCU and how it doesn't and what Sony are doing because fuck knows what they're doing. When you watch that post-credit scene in Morbius as well, it doesn't make any sense. It makes no fucking sense.
None of it makes any sense, mate.
Madam Web makes even less sense.
Hey, don't you diss Madam Web. It's an amazing film.
It's on Netflix now. You should give it a go.
Should I watch it? Do you think it's worth it? Worth a punt?
No, it's not worth it, but I want you to watch
I just
it.
seen
for
that
the
ending that you
lols.
showed me, that when she wheels off it wheels. Yeah, it's so corny.
My favourite bit is the firework making a hole in the wall.
Nice. Wow. Yeah, can't wait for that. Venom in review coming soon to patrons exclusive.
We should do the
Oh.
spunk. That's what we should do after we've done X-Men. Let's do spunk.
Oh god! Do you know what? I had a dream / nightmare over a week about that. I was thinking about podcasts and what we're doing in a few years' time when we're doing, and you were like, we've got to do the Zack Snyder unit, because you wanted me to watch that second film. Just you wanted me to watch it that bad. You indoctrinated everyone to be like, yes, we want a Zack Snyder in review podcast. Because I'm not watching that fucking Star Wars ripoff he's doing.
Oh, it's terrible.
I can't bring myself. I don't think.
No way.
Never watch
Next.
'em.
We're
And don't
almost
get
there,
any
guys.
ideas, listeners. We're not doing Zack Snyder in review. It was a nightmare.
Finally, talking about perfect casting once more, in my opinion. Shogun star Hiroyuki Sanada reportedly in talks for a role in Sony's Ghost of Tsushima film.
That makes
This was
sense.
originally announced in 2021. The film flick, helmed by John Wick 4 director Chad Stahelski, is progressing but appears to be way off. Back in November, he said that the studio strikes and availabilities and scouting were to blame, causing production delays. But I'd love to see this.
Yeah. And if it's stylish like the game, because the game's very stylish, it's Kurosawa stylish. And if they miss that in this film and they just
Right,
make
yeah.
it an
It
action
looked
epic,
gorgeous.
it better do. I want reeds. I want wind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I want
I think
want
it'll be there. I'm
pipes
confident.
playing in the background. I want it really. If we can get back to Kurosawa, but it's him who did John Wick 4, the film I couldn't finish.
Yeah, but he did the other John Wicks, and they're good.
Did he do the first one?
I think he did all of
That's
them.
the best. That's the best one. I think the first one's the best.
How long were you practicing those names, Biggie? Because I forgot to bring up the fact that you can't say Paul Bettany's name properly.
I don't know. I thought it was how you said it, but apparently not.
Paul Bettany. And no one
Alright.
picked up on it, and I was so disappointed when I was editing the podcast. I was like, no one picked
I heard
up
it
on
as
that.
well. I heard you say it.
Paul Bettany. That's his new name. It's his new name.
Add it to
He
the
sits there
list.
practicing them before the podcast. He sits there saying them out loud.
I wish we had timestamped every time he mispronounced a name, so we could just have a little montage. It's funny.
Matthew
What about
Hippity
a 2 hour
Hoppity.
supercut of Biggie just saying names? Come on, let's get this fucking news done. Next.
Over to the weird world web. Over in Mexico,
That's correct.
fire breathers fight off marauding mariachis in turf war tips. A bizarre fight, apparently over the rights to perform at a lucrative street corner, saw the fire breather turn the tables on its attackers. Fire breather has been treated in hospital in Mexico after being attacked by a mariachi band, fighting back by setting several of them on fire. Security camera footage of the
Desperado.
bizarre fight shows one of the mariachis chasing the fire breather, placing him in a headlock before punching him multiple times as the traffic on a busy street stops. The fire breather is then seen on the pavement as five of the band kick and punch him in front of a taco restaurant named El Inferno, or Hell, in the city of Morelia, west of the capital Mexico City on Sunday. But the tables are turned as the man starts throwing fire at the musicians. The mariachis, most dressed in traditional white shirts, black trousers, some carrying guitars, and then seen running away as several of them are in flames. They quickly take off their burning clothes, and one is even seen rolling on the ground to extinguish the flames. None of the players returned to the fight. It's believed the battle was over. The right to perform and generate tips is the sought after spot.
This
Wow.
sounds like a plot from a Robert Rodriguez.
It does, doesn't it?
He's bringing back El Mariachi, isn't he? He's bringing him back. And this was a movie filming, wasn't it? It wasn't actually a new star. It was just shooting one of the scenes in the film. That's mental. I tell you what, Mexico is fucking mental. I've been and it's mental. I love it. I love the chaos, but fuck me, it's got to be one of the most dangerous places on earth. It's insane. It's insane. I love it. Great story, though. Great story. Let's get on with what we've been up to this week. I'll start. I've done quite a few bits. one thing I have to talk about, because I know it's been talked about on this podcast, a film dropped, Shadow dropped, and Stig's been wanting my opinion on this film since Stig saw it.
Rebel Moon Part 2?
No, a little film called Godzilla Minus One.
Yeah, it's just dropped on Netflix out of nowhere. Everyone's like,
Yes.
oh, by the way, it's on Netflix now. And I said, what?
So again, just to rehash it, it's directed by Takashi Yamazaki. And I love Takashi Yamazaki because he was the director of Dragon Quest Your Story, the movie, which is a film I reviewed on the first season of this
that's
podcast
right.
a long
Yeah.
time ago. And I loved it. And I didn't know it was this guy until it popped up on screen and went, oh, it's Yamazaki. And I thought that was a good little nod for me. It stars Ryosuke Kamika and Manami Hanabi. Again, Stig already mentioned that the backdrop is the end of World War II in Japan, in Tokyo mainly. And it's Godzilla arrives, doesn't he, Stig? In all his
glory.
And I'm not gonna review it because Stig reviewed it, but I have something important to say.
I want to know what you
Do
want
have something important to say. Here's the sentence. I think this is my new favourite film of all time.
It's fucking amazing, isn't it?
I have not said that in about 20 years. Do you know what I mean? The last time I said that was like The Dark Knight. I think this is my favourite film of all time. I think Godzilla Minus One has now taken the top spot of the best film I've ever seen. But pinch of salt, listeners, because you've kind of got to be into the Toho Godzilla universe, because now, other than that fucking American one that's recently come out, I've seen them all. Every single one, multiple times. This is the first time I've watched a film on Netflix and immediately started again and watched it again. All the way through.
It's good.
So I've not seen any, as far as I can think. Oh no, I've seen the Godzilla, the one that had the army drop from the sky.
Oh yeah,
Drop
Aaron Taylor
thing.
Johnson one.
Yeah,
that
that was
one.
like the beginning of the legendary.
Which
and
is
the
the
Matthew
best
Broderick
one
Godzilla.
of
They're the
theirs.
only ones I've actually seen. So I've not seen the proper Godzilla stuff. So I mean, can I not enjoy this movie without that
Yes.
knowledge?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
it's
you
nothing
can.
to do with them. It's a standalone
just-
Godzilla. Like Shin
reason
Godzilla is its own thing.
Yeah, the reason I'm saying it's my favourite film of all time now is because I've loved this franchise since I was 8-year-old. And I never thought that I'd get something that beat... 'cause it sounds weird, but I think the original's a perfect film. The very first Godzilla, the one with the man in the fucking suit, I think that's a perfect film. Because people forget, because you only see clips of him going, rampage, but there's a lot of chatting in that original one. There's a lot of men arguing about how we're going to defeat this beast. And Stig didn't really tell me that this film's a big talky film as well. And I fucking love a big talky. And it's a fantastic war film as well.
Yeah, it's very anti-war as well. It's very dealing with the like after effects of like what the Japanese were forced to do within that war, and
I like
how
the
that affects
subplot of
people
I like
and
the subplot that how like a lot of people don't really understand the nuances with it with the kamikaze pilots. So in Japan, they knew they were losing the war, and the emperor decided that the only way we could edge it is if we sacrifice, and definitely because it was hard to shoot them old planes and get a direct hit. The best way to get a direct hit is get our pilots to blow themselves up. And I like how it talks about that and the shame that they have about how the kamikazes existed, and because a lot of Godzillas are parallels to like the nuke, the atom bombs, but this is a parallel to kamikaze, and it's in honor to all those people that lost their lives because of an emperor's ideals. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go real deep back, Japan siding with Germany and Italy is a mad thing in general anyway. If you want to look into the history about that, why they did it is wild. But it's a beautiful like analogy on that, and a parallel to the kamikaze and how a government, or at that point an emperor, could brainwash the youths, because most kamikaze pilots were 20 years old. And they died within like half an hour of being up in the air. Do you know what I mean? They didn't give them fuel to get back. That was the thing. They knew what they were doing. And it's really harrowing when you look back at it, because I think Japan and France as well, and yeah, I think they've got one of the biggest death tolls in World War II. Japan itself, obviously, they dropped 2 atom bombs on the fucking country, but this is not just about a fucking nuclear-armed lizard climbing out of the ocean. This is about the lives of people that have sacrificed, and you don't see many after the war films, do you? Just after, where everything's fucked and everyone's trying to piece their lives back together. And there's PTSD in this. At a time when PTSD didn't have a name, they just called it shell shock, didn't they?
That's right. Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful film. How they made it on that budget is beyond me.
About 12 to 15 million.
I don't know how they did it.
No, I mean, there's a few here and there. It's a bit ropey here and there, but like you can for that budget, you're like, yeah, fine. But in general, it is so good, and the soundtrack. It obviously uses the Godzilla.
When they
theme,
use Godzilla's theme,
but it's Godzilla Suite 2, which has both the Godzilla kind of theme, and then
and
then it's like dun 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 dun, like when they've got the whole kind of fight against Godzilla. Oh man, it's such a good. The soundtrack's incredible. I've seen people say that the acting is a bit melodramatic, and I'm like, yeah, it is, but that's kind of the style of those films.
Because it is,
yeah, and it fits that world. But
it does.
Godzilla looks incredible. His atomic breath looks incredible. The scenes.
It's my favourite version of the atomic breath.
It's just so good. If you're interested, the black and white version is being launched on Netflix later this summer.
Oh, so I'll watch it for the 3rd time.
Yeah, I'm quite interested to see the black and white version because obviously it's just to pay homage to the old Godzilla in it.
I'm just so glad that I know it's
told
nice
you, I knew you'd love it. And
I more than
as
love
someone
it.
who has a passing interest in Godzilla films and not seen loads, I
Mm.
was like, I watched that and thought that's incredible. Like, if he doesn't enjoy this film, then
I more than enjoy it. It's my favourite film now.
yeah, I was thinking. I knew that you loved Godzilla, and it's such a good film that the only way that you wouldn't like it is if there was just weird Godzilla lore stuff that you couldn't get past. But there's none. I don't think there's any of that.
Yeah, they don't. It's not. The thing is, it doesn't have to be tied because it's the first iteration of Godzilla in the timeline.
Yeah.
So it's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's
Minus One is like a reference to Japan, isn't it? Like
yes, because it was after a war, after getting nuked, they're at level 0, aren't they? And then Godzilla turning up with below 0.
Yeah,
it's like shit.
Yeah, we've been
minus
through
one now.
We feel like we've been through the worst thing our country could have gone through, and then this huge fucking atomic lizard turns up right after. Like, okay.
We shouldn't be laughing, but that is legit. I think it is one of the most special films I've seen in a very long time, and I think you don't have to be a fan of the franchise. Biggie, I was crying, me, at some points.
There was a bit near the end that got me.
Yeah.
I went to cinema to see this. Amelia came with me as well. So,
it's a 12 as well. You can watch it with kids.
Yeah, she really liked it, and she got through the subtitles no problem. And she actually said to me at one point that there's a bit at the end which you can tell is there as a tearjerker, and I was a bit like, oh. And then she looked at me and she went, "Are you crying?" And I had to be like, "No."
It's just
you're crying.
Yeah.
Shut
up, kid.
It's super special. I'm glad that the studio now that they're brave enough to do these kind of stories because yes, the tropes are there. We know what happens. We know Godzilla turns up and wrecks a city. We know this. That's not the crux of any Godzilla film. Godzilla mostly on most films he's blurred in the background while humans are running about and talking to each other.
That's what annoys me about the Hollywood ones. And everyone goes, "Oh yeah, it's fine to have 2 different versions of Godzilla." I was like, "Yeah, but
I don't think it should
the
have been
legendary
Godzilla.
Godzillas have turned into Fast and Furious with monsters. That's what they are."
It's not. That's
You will probably watch Kong X.
Yeah, I will.
Godzilla X Kong because you're a completionist. You need to see all the Godzilla films.
Done them all.
You will come away from that and you just be like, "The fuck was that?"
Yeah, I did it on the last one, mate.
Yeah.
What was the one with Mecha Godzilla in that they did?
The new one's even worse, and the lore is so messy and like, yeah, there is room for big smashing monsters crashing into each other, but you can still do that with a lot of heart and a lot of great action scenes and make it make sense. Pacific Rim
yeah.
is a perfect example of that.
Yes, and that is a homage to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Del Toro, again, like me, massive Godzilla fan, but the Toho Godzilla fan, the OG stuff. I mean, there's so much. Watch it. Just watch it.
You're like, I'm not going to do a review on it. I was like, no, we're not gonna let you watch that film and not talk about it.
It's fucking perfect for me. For me, someone might turn around. If someone watching it goes, "Oh, I'll give that an 8 out of 10," I'll respect your 8 out of 10. You're wrong, but I respect you for it. I think it's the perfect Godzilla film.
I do wish you'd have got to the cinema to see it.
I do,
because the music in the cinema when that Godzilla theme hits in the
First
cinema,
time.
and it's just like, and it's like fucking hell, like, it really just like.
Well, you could,
grates through,
if you've got a good headset, watch it through a PlayStation and have really good headphones on.
Yeah.
Do it that way.
Yeah, good. Mate, I'm not going to not watch it a million more times. It's fucking brilliant. It's not a quick film, though. It's like 2.5 hours. It's so fucking special, man. It's just perfect. But yeah, I've definitely been to Japan this week because the next thing I want to review is something I know Stig's into as well. I finally finished One Punch Man Season 2.
That's so weird because I just started it this morning.
Oh, it's because we're in sync, baby. We're in sync.
I watched season 1 when it first arrived on Netflix, and they've only just put season 2 on there. I actually started season 2 ages ago, and then
it's been out. It came out in like 2020, I think.
Yeah, I think I lost my subscription. For some reason, I just fell off after a couple of episodes because I started watching. Pardon me. I started watching other stuff.
Yeah.
But this morning, I was like, when I'm in the gym and I go on the little warm up machine.
That must be a perfect thing to watch when you're in the gym.
When I do my like 20-minute, half an hour warm up in the morning on the cardio, it's like that's when I watch my animes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, One Punch Man season 2's up. So
let's go.
So I watched the first episode this morning. Yeah. If
If you don't know what One Punch Man is, or as the Japanese call it, One Pan Pan, which is a great name. I love that Japanese naming for it. One Pan Pan. It's a Shonen Jump anime. If you don't know what that is, Google it. Typical with Shonen animes is about super special people fighting each other. Think Dragon Ball, that kind of thing. But One Punch Man has the beautiful. It's taking the piss out of DC's Superman, where Stig hates this about Superman, where he just wins. He just wins. And One Punch Man is about Saitama, who just wins, but he hates that he just wins. He fucking hates it. He will kill any enemy with one punch. So the best thing about this show is
spoils it, doesn't it? But
yeah, for
it's like,
20
that's
minutes
it.
of each episode, this big over the top enemies like, I am the king of the demons, and I'm gonna, and he goes, hi, and he just punches him in the dead. And he's like, oh, I thought you were the one. I thought you were the one to test me, but you weren't.
He's just this like gormless looking.
He's
like,
not even
skinny.
he didn't even have powers. He just went to the gym and he did press ups.
He did. He got beat up one day, so he did loads of press ups, loads of sit ups, and ran 10k every day. And now he can defeat anything with one punch.
It's so funny.
Sounds
He
legit.
knows what it's doing. He's
But he
taking the
doesn't
piss
get
out of anime.
He doesn't get the rep that he deserves from
No.
anyone, does he? He's like,
There's heroes in this universe that they're ranked and they become celebrities, and he's quite low ranked, even though he's the most powerful being in the universe.
he
And
was
hates
ranked.
it.
There's S is the top rank, and A, B,
Yeah.
C, D, and he was like C for so long.
But because he's killing them so fast, no one's seeing him do it. So because he's not having this big like city destroying battle, he's just fucking killing him in one punch. Sometimes a flick. You don't have to punch him. Sometimes you can slap him.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good. And he's got a mate, he's Acolyte Genos, which is a really good character that he's really high ranked he's like a cyborg, but he's the only one that knows that Saitama, One Punch Man, is like the ultimate being. So even though he's higher ranked than him, he worships the ground he walks on.
Yeah, he calls him master, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Genos is like, he is what you imagine. He is a cyborg, and every fight he has, it's like
He's got
limbs everywhere, rockets coming out his hands. He's punching like stupidly fast, and yet Saitama's just stood there with his shopping bag, watching it all, and then just punches them. It's like, oh, in the first episode, he's like, "Have you got this?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go then." He's
Yeah.
just like,
He goes and plays fucking computer games with his new mate King.
Yeah, what's that computer game they play? The real girly anime one.
It's just really good. And I watched the whole thing, and it introduces a new enemy called Garrow. Garrow the monster. He's a human that is kind of the polar opposite. I'm not going to spoil it for you too much. He's the polar opposite of One Punch Man, where One Punch Man wanted to be a hero that much, he became a hero. Garrow wanted to be a monster that much, he became a monster, but without actually being a monster, he's still human. And it's looking like in the show, I won't spoil it, but it's looking like he might be the one to finally stand up to One Punch Man, but I won't tell you anything, Stig. But it's just a really good self-referential, and it knows what it's doing anime. Like, it's almost anti-anime, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every trope it takes the piss out of. Like, there's one scene in this where on first episode where King's got that he's got that anime that hentai game, hasn't he? And Saitama goes, Why are you bought this for, you perv? He's like, no, I thought it was a different game. I thought it was a different computer game.
So I thought it was Heart Wreckers. Like Robot Sings. He's like, I play this. And he's like, play this mech game instead.
Yeah, he's so fucking funny. It's just,
sounds like he's got access to your Steam library.
Oh, it's this other guy's all right, perv. But it's just a really good, and the 25-minute episodes, it's just so fast-paced, so brilliant. And again, they're not scared to spend fucking 20 minutes, like, bigging up this new enemy for him to just kill it and want it. It's so fucking funny.
Just look at a picture of Saitama and...
Look at him. He's just a bald bloke.
He's a bald bloke with hardly... He doesn't have many
Guilty.
features. He's just got brown, white eyes.
Yellow
with,
jumpsuit on.
Like, thin drawn fucking eyebrows. Like, he has no... Like, his face is just blank.
He doesn't stand out.
Yeah, and then every now and again, though, they'll draw him in a
super
typical,
detail.
In a typical super detailed anime version. Like, if he gets angry or he goes into, like, some kind of state, those will draw him like that.
He looks like a fucking Super Saiyan, doesn't he, when they draw him?
He looks amazing when they do it like that. But genuinely, and then he'll punch someone, and then suddenly it just
He gets pissed off again.
He'll go straight back to just looking like a dweeb.
Pick up his shopping and walk off.
Yeah.
I think it's genuinely one of the best animes in a long, long time, and it's for people that are not that into animes, but they kind of know the tropes. And I don't watch it with dubs, but you can. Apparently, the English dub's really good.
Oh, I watch it the English version. Funny.
Apparently it's really good. It's got a lot of like classic English dub people from like Dragon Ball and stuff like that.
No, it's good.
So,
it's one of those ones that doesn't lose anything, I don't think, with the English version.
That's cool. That's cool. But yeah, I genuinely like. Again, season 3, I think is out now, but we just haven't got it over here yet, so I can't.
Is it out? Not sure if it is.
I think maybe this year.
I think it's still to come. The manga or whatever it's based on.
Oh, it's way in front, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just really good.
It does do that, taking the piss out of animes. You know, like that kind of thing you get where an anime character, when they get really hit up about somewhere and angry or excited, just like, I will show you that I can be the best and I can do this. Like, it does all that, and he's just stood on the side, just like, oh,
Garmus.
Yeah, just one punch done. Yeah,
it's really good. I mean, this one's got the backdrop of a martial arts tournament where Saitama goes to, because he's like, maybe I'll learn about martial arts. That sounds cool. Maybe I'll be a better hero if I know more moves than just punching them and winning. Oh, no, don't worry about it, Saitama. You're still One Punch Man. It's just really fucking special. But yeah, that's been my way. I've got something I can probably talk about more in the green room, a computer game, but that's Japanese as well. I've been to Japan this week, I'm telling you. Biggie.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things to talk about. Just bear with me a second. So I got a game code. So I'm going to do a quick review for Tennis Manager 2024.
Jesus Christ.
So this popped up in the list of things that you could request a key for. So I just thought, I'll play something different because I've kind of...
You don't even like tennis.
I do enjoy watching Wimbledon more than anything else. It's great fun.
I like watching Wimbledon, but...
Yeah. I just thought I'd try it out. So
you've got to manage one person?
No. So this is by Rebound CG.
Is this like challenges? You're going to have a threesome with 2 young boys?
No. No.
Get me a
Just to
code
be very
now.
clear on that. Very clear on that. No.
Get me a code now.
But yeah, it's a manager game, very similar to Football Manager. You can build up the breakout
There's not
success.
11 people.
Build on their breakout success of the debut. The 2024 takes experience to new heights of realism on and off the court with a database of 5,000 players from 14-year-old juniors to Djokovic, I can't even say it, Djokovic, Swiatek, and nearly 3,000 real-life tournaments from the junior and the senior circuits. The game offers unrivaled depth of play and immersion in the ultra-realistic world of tennis. Players will take the helm of their tennis academy, discover and recruit future greats such as Sinner, Rune, Alcaraz, and even younger unknown players, and expertly guide athletes through training and tournaments to the dizzying heights of international success. Okay. It's got a new training system and form.
It's not stopped.
There's fantasy courts where you can unleash your imagination in its newest game mode and create custom tournaments with any player that you want from any time period. Allows you to relive your favourite tennis tournaments by simulating it. There's injury management, new attributes, improved 3D analysis, match simulation, and so on. My biggest problem with this...
my favourite tournament of all time. I couldn't decide. There's so many.
My biggest problem with this, and I played it for about 5-6 hours, just tinkering away with it, is that it just feels like Football Manager Lite. It hasn't got, in my opinion so far, the depth of what the overall success that Football Manager has had over all the years. So I think because this small development team are obviously just getting to grips with how it all works. It's also available on mobile, and my issue is that it feels like a mobile game ported for the PC. The match animation is quite jerky. There's quite a few frames missing, I feel, when you're simulating a match, so it doesn't quite have that immersive feel. It's got very annoying every time. I've got a male player that I'm focusing on. So when
his name?
It's Mark Draper, so a real a real player, a real up and coming tennis player. But every time he wins a point, he kind of goes, yeah. And then the opposition player, when he wins a point, it's the same voice going, yeah. So you just get that back and forth like tennis. The crowd is pretty poorly digitized, so there's just too many supposedly random people watching, but there's too many repetitions of the people watching.
So no, like Cliff Richard in the background.
No. But yeah, it plays like a management game, like you would expect, like Football Manager. I feel like it's missing a lot more in-depth options when you're trying to encourage your player.
Can you change the price of orange slices and stuff like that?
Oh, but when you are trying to, I don't know, motivate your player during a match, it only has like the one option that you can use per game. It just feels you don't feel like you're that involved in changing the tactics as much. You can tweak at the end of every set and have a proper chat with your player, but it doesn't seem to make a massive amount of difference. I don't know, it just feels like it's missing a lot, and I feel it's because it's a mobile port, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but it just comes across that way.
I know what you're saying.
But yeah, I've had my time with Football Manager at the moment. I'm waiting for the new version to come out, and I wanted to see what this was like, because I thought it'd be something a bit different. But apparently I think if you're a massive... Sorry, go on.
Go on, sorry. No, carry on, mate. Carry on, sorry.
I was just going to say, if you're naturally a massive tennis fan, you might get a lot more out of this. And it obviously has its bit of fun for a while, but after that, I'm not sure. It hasn't got a lot to pull me back, I think. And I'm sure it'll have some more updates and patches, etc., perhaps. And maybe as the time goes on, when they do a few more iterations, it might improve. It just feels like a port. It feels like something's missing. It feels very much like a mobile game, and that's what's disappointed me the most. You know, when you play Football Manager on a PC and then you go to a mobile port and you can see all the differences it's missing. It feels like this is reverse. Yeah.
I mean, there are some good management sim games. Like apparently the Formula One manager is really fucking good, and there's a few different sport ones. There's the American football. Do you know that brutal Quidditch football that they play? There's one of them that's a management one, and that's really good. But tennis, it's like, what's it going to be like? Crown Bowling fucking manager next?
And naturally, they've got licenses to certain brands, but not to all the players. So, of course, you can get a mod that's already out that changes all the player names. You get the
Of course,
realistic
you've
names
modded it already.
and pictures. Yeah, of course. It just adds to the realism. It's not their fault. It's the same with Football Manager. You get the same kind of problem.
Yeah.
So it's good that that's available straight away. Literally a few days after this came out, somebody had done that.
It
So that was
also
nice.
proves that you'll do anything for a free code.
Not at all, if I'm interested in it. But yeah, it's out now on PC and mobile.
Get it at all leading retailers.
Last night I watched Civil War.
Oh, yes, because that's on now, isn't it?
It is incredible. I agree with
What's it
everything.
called? Sorry.
Civil War.
Oh, Civil War. Sorry.
But it's because he says, whoa. Civil
No,
War.
I just, yeah.
Civil War. In it.
Civil War.
But the performances are fantastic. Kirsten
The
Dunst is
wall.
brilliant as you could say the lead, and Wagner as her buddy as the traveller's journalist covering the ridiculous Civil War. It's mad, but it's so frightening how real it could be.
Yeah, when Stig reviewed it, I was like, I am fucking up for this.
It's good. It's so good. And there is a scene stealing turn from Jesse Plemons as well, and that's incredible.
I like him.
Just
I
haunting.
like him.
Be a good feature actually to do scene stealers because in the short time he's in that movie, it completely
Yeah,
turns
that
it
is
on
a
its
good
head.
feature.
Just how brutal.
Write that down.
It wasn't
that
even meant to
situation
be in the
is.
film. The guy.
No, he wasn't.
who-
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the guy
Just turned up.
who didn't turn up, and then because he's married to Kirsten Dunst, she's so why don't you
Yeah.
get Jesse to do it? It's like
I mean, let's be realistic,
All right.
though. Jesse Plemons looks like he was never meant to be a fucking actor either. He's not the most
but he
conventional.
plays unnerving.
He does it
weird,
so well.
So
Oh,
well. Like,
doesn't
guy
he just?
he played in Breaking Bad, and then if you've seen Game Night, like the
Game Night,
neigh-
there's
the
the
neighbouring
copper.
Game Night, he's
That turning game on it.
Oh,
He's
just
good in it.
yeah.
Good.
But yeah, it is that moment is brutal, and I've seen reading some reviews because obviously it's come out a lot more people have watched it now. It's available at home viewing, and like some people it's not realistic, and I'm like yeah it is, like
Yeah.
like
I bet it is.
the way that politics, especially in America, has been going the last few years, the lack of
Yeah.
empathy and the craziness that some people will go to. Do
I
that,
can't believe it.
give them guns. You can believe that that's how some people would act.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Totally agree.
definitely.
But it's a great movie, and it's not an easy watch. And Stig covered that himself. It is just brutal
yeah.
viewing, and it could trigger some depressing feelings afterwards about just how the world is at this point in time. It's right on the nail, and it doesn't pick sides. And Stig's quite right. It basically just presents this kind of this could happen, and the journalists are doing exactly the same thing. They're not really trying to take sides of what's actually happening. They're just covering the brutal nature.
Unlike
of what's
real
actually
journalists.
happening.
Am I right, lads?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brilliant
I'm
movie.
keen. I'm keen.
But-
I Stig told me it was out, so I'm gonna jump on that this week.
Yeah, do mate, you'll love it. The thing I want to talk about now,
Hey,
this
We
trailer
just talked about
keeps
tennis champ or whatever it was called.
this trailer kept popping up in my what to watch list on Netflix, and I just kept putting it off, just thinking I'll get around to it at some point. It looks good.
Okay.
This is fucking incredible. Blue Eye Samurai.
This is so weird. I was sat there going, I bet he's going to mention, but I bet it's going to be Blue Eye Samurai.
I've
Because
also
that was-
seen it as well.
Because it was that or One Punch Man that I was going to start in the gym, and One Punch Man just happened to be on my screen as I was loading up Netflix, so I just went with that.
I am
weirdly
telling
enough,
you now,
I reckon I could
I've
have
seen
said
it. I've
it's
seen
this.
it. I've seen it, mate.
Yeah,
this is the best thing I've watched this year, without a doubt.
No,
I've
I
heard.
It's great.
was
It's
all-
great, but it's not the best.
I
thing
was
I've watched.
all over this. This to me just is everything
so
I want from
fucking cool, isn't it?
the. Yeah, to explain what it is for those who don't know, it's an adult animated action television series created and written for Netflix by wife and husband team Amber Noizumi and Michael Green, with supervising director and series producer Jane Wu. It was co-produced and animated by Blue Spirit, a French-Canadian animation company known for its work on the Oscar-nominated film My Life as Zucchini.
Zucchini.
The film is written by Portrait of a Lady on Fire director Celine Sciamma.
hang on. So this is got the people who write My Life as a Courgette is what I know it as because it's the English
Because
title.
it's the English version.
And
yeah.
Celine Sciamma.
Yeah.
Oh, it has Stig, yeah.
How...
And
I
it's
mentioned, it
basically
about 4 months ago.
Oh man, Portrait of a Lady on Fire is like one of my favourite films ever.
So it's already been
Brill.
greenlit for season 2, which I can't wait. It's this is basically a 2D 3D hybrid of animation. They basically wanted it to look like a movie in painting with character design drawn from Bunraku puppets. In one particular episode is just stunning.
I know which episode.
This is basically set during Japan's Edo period, 17th century. There's a half-white, half-Japanese Onimusha called Mizu, whose quest for vengeance against 4 white men, one of whom could be their father, who has illegally remained in Japan during the closing of its borders by the Tokugawa shogunate. The cast is amazing. I'll just go through a list. There's Maya Erskine, Masaoko, Darren Barnett, Brenda Song, George Takei, Randall Park, Kenneth Branagh. There's a few. Mark Dacascos is in there. There's like a really good cast list. But the series not only has its main plot, but there are several other characters also have their arc fully explained throughout. So there's a lot of subtexts, including mixed race, gender, class, female empowerment, loyalty, just the way of life back in those times is covered. It delivers a beautiful art and vistas. The animation is just stunning. The action is just exciting. It's so incredible with the camera work that you get from something like Crouching Tiger. It's insane. And the politics worthy of the series Shogun. It's just that particular episode that I was talking about, it has a story of the Bunraku puppets going on. It tells a tragic tale from the past for the present audience whilst mimicking a flashback which is centered around main characters in the series, which is flash cut between the two, and it's just beautifully directed. If last year was owned by Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, then this would stealthily sneak up behind it and slit its throat, man. This is just so good. And I can't believe people aren't talking about it.
I did. No one listened.
It's just, it's insane. I loved it. I just think it's beautiful.
It's been on my list.
Best animation.
It's gorgeous. It's absolutely. I agree
animation
with you.
I have ever seen. But like, if you thought Spider-Verse was great, then this is up there with it, competing.
I think this does things very experimental as well for a series. That's the difference as well.
Yeah.
It's some bits I was like, oh, has it skipped to a different show? Oh no, it hasn't. You know what I mean? It's quite clever.
And the themes,
a beautiful story.
Yeah, the themes that it covers as well. They've been done in other stuff as well, but this is just,
yes, they have.
To me, perfectly presented over 8 episodes. It's great.
Yeah,
it's just, I cannot wait for the next season because, spoiler, it ends with a cliffhanger just to, it's almost tied everything up, and then it's just like, It's just like, okay, fine.
We're all off to Japan this week, aren't we?
Yeah, but I love this.
You need to watch One Punch Man while you're waiting for season 2 of that.
There you go. Yeah, I will. But yeah, this is fantastic. Please watch Blue Eye Samurai.
Yeah, I'm with Biggie on that. That's a very, very tight recommend. Stig.
Couple of things. I'm going to blast through these quickly because I wasn't here last week. I listened to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I watched the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy film afterwards. The book is really fun. Really enjoyed the book.
Never catch on, will it?
The film isn't as good. It was fine. Some of the changes I didn't like. But as an adaptation to try and get that book into a film, does a decent job. But yeah, the book is really fun. Definitely worth checking out. And it was narrated by Stephen Fry. So
he narrates the film as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's very good at narrating books. Like, does the whole Harry Potter series, does this. He does, and actually all the sequel books are narrated by Martin Freeman.
Oh.
And they're all on Spotify Prime.
So
I think I'm going to give them a listen to. I watched a film called Mother's Instinct, starring Anne Hathaway and Jessica Chastain. This is a story about, I think it's like set in the 50s, and these typical kind of 50s wives, and everything's pristine and nice white picket fences.
Stay-at-home wives.
Yeah, stay-at-home wives. And
Stepford wives.
They kind of tend to the gardens and everything, and then tragedy happens one day where Anne Hathaway's child falls off the balcony and dies. And tensions start to rise between the two. Jessica Chastain's character starts to accuse Alice, she's called, starts to accuse Celine, who's Anne Hathaway's character, of trying to use that situation to almost steal her child or harm her child. She blames Alice for what happened because she saw it from a garden but wasn't able to get to him in time.
That sounds dark.
It is dark. Unfortunately, I think that it was really bog standard, and you could see where everything was going from a mile away, and tried to pull the rug out from under you, but it never really did that because you just knew where it was going, what was going to happen.
If you know cinema, you've seen it a million times.
Yeah, and I was like, and by the end of it, I was like, that's exactly what I thought this film was going to do and where it was going. So yeah,
shit when that happens.
Didn't really align with me, unfortunately. This week I watched all of X-Men 97. Absolutely incredible. If you loved the X-Men series from the 90s, get on this because it carries on from that. The storytelling's even better than that because I think
it's modern.
Yeah, it's modern and there's more nuance to it, and they kind of understand that show's really good, and it was adapting stories, but I think this just does it a lot better. And episode 5 is just fucking incredible.
What's wild about this?
Went places that I was like, I did not expect it to do that.
It's its own thing. It's its own story. It's not an adaptation from any known X-Men book.
It's using those spit things from here and there, from what I understand.
Yeah, it is, but it's like I know some bit, especially when Stig let me know about one. I was like, some of them that moment is. Do
you watch that end credit scene now?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, I know what that means.
Oh god,
I know what death means.
Yeah, that's
where
fine.
It leads.
That's fine then.
But like the ending of the episode, the ending, and where it was like something happens and they ended up somewhere. I went, well, I know exactly where this is going just because of where they are. And Beast's final line was just like, that's exactly what I was thinking, Beast.
It's just so good. Unfortunately, there's a really bad discourse about this on the internet because people are saying it's too gay, it's too woke. I've clearly they never watched the original or read any of the books.
They're like, oh, look at what they did to Gambit. I'm like, hang on, this is meant to be 97. Gambit's exactly like he was before.
It's not even that though. I mean, X-Men's made
wearing his crop
for the
top
AIDS
and stuff.
Epidemic. Do you know what I mean? It was made for that. It was made for like, it was awake before the term woke existed.
Yeah. Have you watched it
again? Not reading it between the lines.
Do you know what? I started watching the original animated series because I never saw it when it first came out, and
nowhere near as good as the 97.
I smile when there's bits covered in stuff that I know and the direction it goes. And poor old Cyclops gets a bit of a tough time early on in this so far. He just every battle he just gets knocked out half the time. Bless him.
He does all the time. It's such a waste.
Yeah, he's still getting it. He's still getting battered.
Yeah, he's getting it bad.
I mean, it's nowhere near as bad as some other things.
No,
you definitely need to get onto this. And genuinely, like, if you like, because there's a lot of filler episodes in that original series.
You don't have to watch it.
I reckon you could probably find a guide on what to watch to get because what that show used to do was they'd start a storyline and then they'd have like several episodes where it was not connected to it, and then
nothing
all of a sudden
to do with it, and then the last one
they'd be like previously on X-Men, and it'd take you back to that storyline and it would carry that on. So you probably could find a guide online that would tell you what to watch and what's most important. 97's brilliant. Anyone who's an X-Men fan should get on it. Anyone who enjoyed that series from the 90s should get on it. And also, never skip the theme tune.
Absolutely.
Ever. Every
I
single
can't
time.
believe it gives you an option.
Yeah, you don't skip the theme tune. It's a
Like
slightly
ours.
updated version.
The theme tune sounds better now.
Yeah, they've updated it, and it's a bit more, obviously, the sound's better than you get in the 90s. But yeah. So that's brilliant. Another animated series that I watched and finished this week was Masters of the Universe Revolution on Netflix. So this is the...
Didn't Candy watch that?
No, I
Kevin
watched...
Smith one.
I watched the first series, which was Revelation, and then
Candy
Revolution.
probably watched the original movie.
Yeah,
I have.
I mean, I quite like that. It's nostalgic.
Dolph Lundgren.
Kids, I used to like it as a kid. Where this show actually has links to that.
Does it?
Yep. This
It's
series.
Kevin Smith, isn't it? That did.
Yeah,
this?
Kevin Smith's done the executive
Yeah.
producer. There's something from that film that actually comes up in this, and also actually in the last series. Blade, the guy with like two blades. He's a baddie in the last series. So they do.
Blade, the guy with blades.
Yeah, the guy with swords.
Yeah, I do.
The guy with swords.
I do.
He. So they do link that lore into this as well. This is fantastic, honestly. About both series,
Is it worth it then?
I've absolutely loved both of these series.
Shit.
So you've got an amazing voice cast as well. So you've got Mark Hamill as Skeletor, you've got Liam Cunningham as Duncan, you have William Shatner as Keldor, you've got
That's mad.
Lena Headey as Evil Lynn, Gates McFadden as Queen Marlene, Keith David as Hordak. It's an amazing voice cast. The animation is fantastic. The music is by Bear McCready.
Is it?
Yeah, like why does more people not watch this and talk about it? Because
Does he not go, hey man?
it's so epic, and obviously it deals with things so much better. It has its cake and eat it because it does the cheesy stuff while also linking it to some really serious kind of messages and overarching.
Does Prince Adam still have a pink tunic on?
It still have what?
Prince Adam, does he still have a pink tunic on?
I can't remember. I think so, maybe.
Love that tunic. I always wanted one.
But yeah, and it also brings up all the lore of like Subternia and all like the like heaven and where all the ex-warriors go, and
Yeah.
it's obviously bringing in the Horde with Hordak, and it leaves you with a cliffhanger regarding all that. It's fucking great. It's really, really good. And people
Are
complain
the bad
about
guys actually effective in this? Because in the original cartoon, they were shite.
Yeah.
Well, remember, in the original, Skeletor and He-Man weren't allowed to battle with weapons. They had to hug each other. Because of the laws of the TV at the time. You couldn't have weapons hitting people.
Yeah, Skeletor wins at times in this.
Isn't it
And
mad how muscly he is?
yeah. Well, he's
Skeleton.
a human, isn't he, right, originally? If you know the law.
I love his memes where he runs off after delivering some rank. runs off into
Genuinely,
his
it's
cave.
great.
Till
I
next
know a lot
time.
of people complained about the first series because the first 5 episodes don't really feature He-Man a lot for a reason.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's called Masters of the Universe for one, so it's about them all. It's not just about He-Man.
Yeah, it's not the He-Man.
But the story still revolved around He-Man. He just wasn't there for reasons.
Yeah. They've got She-Ra and stuff in it, haven't they?
No, She-Ra's not in it.
Is she not in it? Maybe they'll do it.
I had her as a toy figure with my He-Man stuff as well.
I don't know whether they have
I
the
had
rights to
Battle Cat.
She-Ra because there's a separate She-Ra show.
Yes, I was wondering about that.
So I don't know if they do have the rights to She-Ra.
Ah.
But they've got Hordak in it.
Yeah.
And there is a little clip of him jumping out of a window at one point in a flashback. So it's like,
Huh.
surely if they're going to show that, which is when when he stole her, then
Yeah. And there's also people listening now going, what are they fucking talking about? I thought they were just toys. No, guys, there's law to
there's
He-Man.
a fucking
There's
lot
law.
of He-Man lore. There's a lot of He-Man lore. Watch Secret of the Sword. That fills you in all about the She-Ra's lore. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Again, 20, 25-minute long episodes. Brilliant.
Cartoons are mint.
Yeah. Right. This is my main thing, though.
Go.
Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2.
Oh, we're going back to that again, are we?
Oh, we're going back to this. Well, I had to because I finished it this week and I was playing it, and obviously I didn't get a chance to talk about it last week because Candy talked about it.
She didn't like it.
I think she is dead wrong.
Oh, we have the opposition.
Think this is absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
It is. When she covered it, it is the best looking game I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
It
She didn't argue that one bit.
Absolutely stunning, and she's right. Every single rock is detailed. Like everything is there. Like the blades of grass, the water, the background vistas, the mountains, the sky. It's fucking incredible, and it shows the power of like that Unreal Engine and really
That
what
is
the
a mad engine.
Xbox Series X can get out, because it looks
should have done
amazing on the Xbox.
Yeah.
She talked about the perspective puzzles. There's only 4 in this whole game, so it's not really that.
Right, I thought they were every 2 minutes.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. Like where she talked about them was like all the time, and so I thought at the time when I listened to what she said, I thought, well, I've only come across 2, and then I came across 2 more after that, because they fill it in with different puzzles. Now,
How do they?
are those puzzles that good? Not really. I think that they're not hard. They're not difficult puzzles. I never once got stuck. I never once like kind of, oh, what do I do here? Like, I do that. They're really simple puzzles. The combat is simple. I didn't mind that, because I'm not looking for a God of War Dark Souls game.
I don't think people should be when you're going into this game. They've never said it, have they?
I think that's what people thought that this game should be.
Yeah,
it's a big 30-hour sprawling epic with. It's like, it's not that. The first one wasn't that, but the combat in this is better than the first one, and
good.
I think the problem is that I think it's unfair to call it a tech demo, for one thing. I don't think it's worth £50.
No,
because it is short. I would have liked more.
But that's a good thing, though. If you wanted more,
it's still an incredible experience. The sound design, the storytelling, the characters, the animation, everything is fantastic.
I've not played either, but that was my impression of the first game. Was it was an experience, and I assumed they were going to go for the same thing.
I don't think they ever
again.
lied about that fact. I don't think they ever.
No,
it's just what people presumed, isn't it?
I think people become a little bit too entitled with what they think they should be getting.
I like that. Yeah, we should be getting this, but it's not fucking down to you, mate.
It was
it's
never
down to the vision of the creators.
It was never a game where they were like, "Oh, you're gonna have skill trees, you're gonna do this, you're gonna upgrade weapons, you're gonna do that." It's telling a story. It is an interactive movie in a sense. It is on rails. You do kind of just push forward, but I don't mind that. That's what I wanted. I wanted this
sometimes
epic
there's
story.
a place for it, isn't
got.
there? There's a place for that kind of just simple. Like, clearly they knew what they were doing. They made it because they've made more complicated games. I spoke about some of their other games last time, and they've clearly gone, no, this is what we want. We want it to be simple so people can get through it. There's no complications. Let's get through it. We want to tell our story, our experience, like you said. And I think it is best that is on Game Pass, because you can't turn around and go, I want my money back.
I think being on Game Pass is fair. I think
Yeah.
I think £25 is probably a fair amount.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm also looking at it going, this looks incredible, and the actual effort they've put into this game. Who's to say that the effort that they've put into this game isn't worth £50? Maybe that's just a bit of entitlement on my part, because it clearly takes a lot of effort and skill to make something look this good.
Can you cast your mind back to I mentioned the Order 1886, right? The PS4 inverted tech demo shooter that they brought out that, at that time, was probably the best looking game I'd ever played. And people said, "Oh, it's 4 hours long. It's crap. I remember buying it for £2 and having a really good 3-4 hours on it.
This game took me 10 hours. Take an hour off for photo mode, so it's 9 hours.
Yeah.
Average of games, like I'm looking at people on my list. Took Candy 10 hours. It took Punk 12 hours, although he did jump back into some levels to mop up a few of the side lore bits.
So there is actually things to look for.
Yeah, there's these force perspective, like there's these faces in the rock, and you focus on them, and the way they do it is brilliant, because the faces in the rock, you focus on it, and then it disappears, and then it opens a way through to these like trees that you look, and you get lore off, but the face is still there. If you look at it from a certain angle, it's still there, but it's all like this rock at the front is its nose. That rock over there is its head. That rock.
I know what you mean.
And it's
that
really,
perspective, right?
Yeah, it's really well done. I think there is times where the combat could have used multiple enemy attacks. My only gripe is that it is just one enemy at a time.
Why,
In
they're just
certain-
waiting for you?
Yeah, in certain situations that's fine because you are battling Draugr like with other people. There is fights going on around you.
So they're not just stood there watching.
So they're not just stood there watching you. They're fighting other people. You're fighting them. But there is a moment in a cave where there's creatures, and you're kind of like, well, this. I think you can't have a cutscene with the creatures all attacking you at once, and then go into a fight, and then taking one at a time. I think they could have done some better.
Can you actually fail in this game? Can you die?
Yeah, I died a few times because you've got to
Oh, right.
parry and dodge, but
Yeah.
the game kind of gives you indications of when to do that. You have to learn the enemy's moves. You know that that's when I have to dodge that. I can't parry it. If I try to parry it, they'll knock me down, and when they knock me down, they'll kick me and they'll hurt me more.
Okay.
There's big epic set pieces.
She said there's 2, Candy.
Yeah, there's 2. Well, no, there's 3. There's one at end of 3 levels. One's a big fight with the last boss, and then there's 2 kind of big set pieces with giants. But they look incredible, and they sound incredible.
Yeah.
And it does all
man.
this weird stuff, like it takes you into a cave, and you pick something up, and you look at something, and all of a sudden it shifts perspective, and it takes you, and it just puts you in her mind and in the way that it's looking at things. And that I've seen people complain about, oh, I can't hear what the other characters are saying because the voices in the head are talking. I'm like, that's the whole
Is
point.
that supposed to be happening though?
Yeah, that's the whole
She's got
point.
psychosis, hasn't she?
Yeah, like, and how many
She ain't paying attention.
how many people do that when someone else is talking? You're thinking something in your head about them. Like, everyone does it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all
podcasters.
yeah, but we all think in our head like somebody's talking about something, and you might just be like, your mind just wanders. But her mind has like 4 or 5 different voices in it. So
Same as mine.
it makes complete sense that they do that. The voices she'd mentioned, they don't do much other than just tell you what to do. They do tell you what to do at the start. They're almost like a invisible tutorial. There's no
UI, is there?
there's no there's no UI, there's no prompts, there's no QTEs or anything like that. You've just got to work it out.
Play this game.
And the voices kind of do things like, oh, he knows your moves, like when he does that dodge. And then later in the game, it kind of goes, she doesn't know what to do. Yes, she does. She sees the ball, pick it up. And I thought, yeah, it's almost like an invisible prompt. If you were playing a game like God of War, you'd walk up to that and it would flash a circle or an X on the screen and tell you to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see what the difference is, other than this is doing it in. Again, if you were trying to figure out a puzzle yourself, you'd look at something and go, "Okay, I need to pick that up."
And I bet, if you look in the options, there is accessibility to have it to actually visually show you stuff.
I don't know if
there
there is, but there is a lot of accessibility options, especially with the combat. There's easy, medium, and hard. Then there's dynamic, which changes the combat based on
however well you do.
However well you're doing and playing.
Which would be excellent, by the way, Biggie. Excellent.
But yeah, I love the narrative voice over the top. So not only have you got the voices going over it, you've also got this narrative that's telling the story. It's almost like a poem. It's like it adds another layer to the game.
Beowulf.
Yeah, it is like that. It's like it's talking about her journey, and once you've completed the game, you can actually go back and replay the levels with alternative narrative from her companions talking about Senua. And so if you want the replayability, you can get that. You get, the story is going to be the same, but you get it from the perspective of her companions telling the story with as she does it.
Yeah. That's wild, isn't it? How you both have such opposite opinion. And when I look at the reviews of it, a lot of people have got completely polarizing views on this experience.
Yeah, it's very mixed,
game.
isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's higher though.
It's all over the shop,
but it's up in the 8s as an
but
average.
I've seen people giving it fucking 2s out of 10.
Yeah, but and
people giving
mental.
it 10s out of 10s.
I'd go about 8 out of 10, 8.5.
Yeah,
I think. I just think that the I would like more, but it's a fucking experience. It's the experience.
That's a good sign. If you would like more,
that I wanted, that I got in that. It takes
you
everything I liked from the first.
A more open mind.
It takes everything I wanted from the first game and does it better. I enjoyed the first game. I really liked the first game. Yeah, and some of the puzzles are a bit shit, but
that's what sequels are supposed to do, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's just I couldn't get over how amazing it sounds and looks. There's no clipping or anything. Like, I'm walking through a cave at one point, and in a lot of games, you're holding a torch, and that flame would be just clipping through the
Yes,
rocks.
it would.
You would walk towards that rock, and her arm would go through the rock. Doesn't. You walk towards that rock, and she ducks down and moves around the scenery. Like, you don't walk through stuff. You don't touch stuff. Like,
you can play AAA games that have got like customizations where they've got floating scabbards for the swords on the back, or like if you put a cape on, your hair goes through the cape and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Don't you? You get really bad.
It
clicking.
shows how good that engine can be. And the Matrix is a tech demo. This is not a tech demo. It's unfair to call it.
Oh,
a tech
that Matrix
demo.
thing they did, yeah, that was the tech demo.
Yeah, just because it's 6 to 10 hours, depending on how you rush. I don't even know how anyone did it in 5 hours. I wasn't really particularly looking for a lot of the faces and the.
Don't know, mate.
There's
But a lot
polls.
of people said that, didn't they?
There's some polls that you get extra lore from, so you get like 2 separate bits of lore going on. But yeah, you can't play this game and not
I'd like to
fuck
play it. I
around
didn't
with
finish the first
picture
one
mode.
though. I own the first one. I never finished it because mainly it's the same things like what Candy said on this one. I just got a bit bored. But maybe
I can see people getting bored by this, but I like.
I weren't in that. Maybe I weren't in that headspace.
I like a bit of a walking sim. If it's got a decent
you
narrative.
do. You like them more than I do.
If it's got a good narrative, and I would never go into this game, and I think people shouldn't have gone into this game expecting the fight scenes to be this big, epic rolling around on the floor. There is dodging, there is rolling, there is a bit of parrying, but you aren't doing. It's not Elden Ring. It's not God of War. You're not stringing together massive combos.
It's not Devil May Cry 5.
You're a normal woman in a sword fight.
Do you remember Everybody's Gone to Rapture? I quite enjoyed that.
I didn't like that.
I quite liked
shit.
I quite enjoyed just the. It felt like you're in a British countryside, walking around a village, and it just. I like the idea of what they did. I never finished it.
You were in
admittedly,
Tory
but I
Britain talking to ghosts. No thanks.
I just kind of I like that system. I thought it was interesting.
But, and there's just moments in this where you just the sound you're doing something and there's just all this other sound going off in your head and it's just fucking incredible.
Well, I'm sure one day I will get to play it. Apparently,
the cave
it's
bit
PS5.
is just.
Oh.
Yeah,
Maybe I
I
will
think
play
it was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed my time with it. Probably won't play it again, but that's just because I don't really tend to replay games because I've got too many other games to play. But I'm well up for more to see where.
So it's a
story
recommend
goes.
from Stig.
Oh, big time for me, yeah.
Love that. That's what you got on this podcast, guys. Polarizing opinions, and that's what life's all about. Opinions. What opinions have our listeners got? See that?
Well, we have a few. We have Mike. He says, bit of a non-week for me. Did a sleep study and got diagnosed with sleep apnea, which, as Gadget will tell you, is a lot of fun. Mostly been watching House with Beck as she's not seen it yet.
Love House.
He has a question for us for the pod section. So I asked our patrons for some pod questions, and he's provided us with one.
Excellent.
Planty comes in and he says, hey, looks like Biggie was right this week. The news truly is his by default because I'm busy.
Rude.
It's been a tremulous week at Planty Towers. With a poorly Colin Robinson preventing us going on holiday, we are resigned to stay at home for the week and book some local days out instead. But we do love his ginger face still. Honestly, really. No, seriously, I'm not holding the boy to it.
It's a good-looking cat, man.
This week, we watched Godzilla Minus One, thanks Netflix in the UK. Rachel was concerned it was a bit slow until it wasn't. But as I always say, it's okay to have a shit opinion on a film. For me, it's the best the best build of a Godzilla we've ever seen in about 20 years and a fantastic period piece. If you like a war movie, you'll love this. If you like monsters, you can't go wrong. 5 out of 5.
Yeah, he's right.
Anyway, gotta go. Need to brush my teeth and get rid of radiation breath. Screeches in Godzilla.
I can imagine Planty loading up his fucking nuclear blast. Of his spine going.
Plantzilla.
Go Plantzilla. Yes.
And Johnzooky.
Oh, they'll love that.
Next up, we have Xenos. He says, this week I've mostly been preparing for upcoming releases. Destiny 2 has the final ship coming out on Tuesday.
Oh, I can't wait.
Which will be a few days ago by the time this pod goes out. I haven't pre-ordered it because I'm waiting to make sure it's actually worth it first. I have comments for next week's feedback. Warframe has a big update coming on the 18th, which is adding a new biblical accurate Warframe. Jade, who is basically an angel and has a choice of playstyles between Fear Not and Fear is the appropriate response. Final Fantasy XIV next expansion is out at the start of July, and I'm only a few levels on Samurai off having every current job at level 80. I'm not grinding more than when the cap is about to go up to 100. I've got the jobs I care about to 90 already. The good news is I can rely on Warframe and Final Fantasy XIV to do their rights. Bungie trailer for the final shape story looked promising, but they still have to stick the landing.
Don't they just?
And finally, we have Angry Kurt. Hi, ME crew. Boy, have I been busy. I have a busy one this week. Gaming wise, I started Gran Turismo 7. This is the first GT I've played since GT5, which I really didn't get into. And 7 is a big upgrade.
Great.
Cats feel great to drive. Cats?
The cats.
He's put cats.
Wow.
The cars feel great to drive. It looks
I think
fantastic.
he's got a different version.
Yeah. He's been playing Big Kitty Little City, hasn't he? Or Little Kitty Big City, yeah. The cars feel great to drive. It looks fantastic. And I love the things they've added, like the cafe where you can walk to complete the menus. It's a game made for petrol heads, and I have been loving it. This month's Backpage podcast game club game is Tunic, so I've started that too. Tunic was something I always intended to play but never got around to. I remember it came out not long after the similar Death's Door, so was a bit burnt out on that kind of game, and then just forgot about it. But the game club has given me the push I needed. It's brilliant, and I can see why it got all the praise it did. It's Zelda meets Souls, but not quite as hard, though it's still pretty hard at times, just like Death's Door was. It also has the cool thing with the manual that you pick up and translate through the game. Would be interesting to hear any of your thoughts on it if you've played it. Oodles did play it.
I finished it.
Yeah.
Death Star's better. I like Tunic a lot. I like it a lot. He's right, the manual bit's the best bit of it. It's the only like unique aspect about that game is the fact that the manual's in like some kind of foreign language, shapes, and you've got to decipher it as you go along. And it looks like an old-fashioned like SNES game manual, and it's really clever. And you're a cute little fox, but Death's Door's better, in my opinion. And harder.
I think I've got Death's Door on Steam.
It's so fucking good.
TV-wise, I finished Season 2 of Tokyo Vice, and it's the best thing I've watched this year. All the big shows of this year I've enjoyed, but haven't met the high levels of hype for me personally, but Tokyo Vice exceeded my expectations. An essential watch of a prestige HBO TV for anyone, especially those interested in Yakuza. Cheers, Kurt.
Kurt, watch One Punch Man.
Real Samurai.
He-Man, Revolutions.
There's loads of stuff to watch. Loads of stuff. Excellent. Thanks for writing in. As always, links to all our extracurricular activities are in the show notes and at modernescapism.co.uk. Please consider becoming a patron. Again, we'll be getting into Modern Escapism episode 3 very soon. So get that started to watch. What's it called? X-Men 3?
Last Stand.
Last Stand, that's the one. Get that watched if you are a patron to watch it along with us while we review that, and you've still got access to all that Kenny Potter goodness. And it's epic. Too Fast, Too Curious is still an ongoing series that you can listen to if you want. It's not finished yet. Very, very, very much ongoing. Ongoing, isn't it, Biggie?
Yes, my friend. Sadly.
And there's many, many monthly podcasts you can listen to if you pay us a bit of money. Normally, we would have a Candyland at this point, but she's not here. So we haven't.
She didn't even provide us with one.
So
if she's not on, she just doesn't care.
If you want a refund for this free podcast, well, fuck you. This is the end of the show. But for paying members, there's more show. There's a lot more in the green room. But for everyone else, it's a bye-bye. Ta-da.
Bye.
Bye.